Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will. I'm a D&D sex icon, goddammit, myconic, and I'm back today with yet another episode of The World Tree Burns. This is episode some number higher than 5, and we're back today with the whole cast and crew for some good times. Let's go around the cast and crew. Let's figure out who we are and who we're playing today. Let's start with Dan Dillon, our dungeon master for tonight. Dan, how's it going, my friend?
It's going very, very well. Thank you for asking, and I'm so glad to be here. Hello, everyone. I'm Dan Dillon. I will be your dungeon master for this evening, and join us as these chuckleheads dance around and toward a date with destiny.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to a double date with destiny, in fact, with Encounter Josh. Josh, how's it going, my friend?
It is.
You weren't expecting I was going to you, did I? No, I messed you up there.
Yeah, you messed me up good.
I can't be contained. I can't be predicted.
Indeed.
I'm an icon.
If that intro said anything, it was I cannot be contained. Yeah, I'm looking to. Speaking of being messed up, I'm looking forward to being messed up through today. Last week, I no longer have the ability to talk. Not that it was something that I particularly used on many occasions, but now I can speak through my owl, for I am Kane, the Dampier Ranger who speaks through an owl. With no explanation given. I just can. Fuck you.
Just can. Don't question it. Just do it, in the words of actual Cannibal Shalabuff. Well, we also have Tool School with us tonight. Tool School, how's it going?
I am doing good. I'm looking forward to this. Midgard is one of my favorite things in the entire week. I'm getting ready to go to San Diego Comic-Con tomorrow, but until then, I will be playing Glaz. Glaz, who is our geomancer, who is here to have all kinds of fun with all of these things, and I believe we have a ley line to explore, and this crazy, crazy forge that we're going to, I'm going to meet a dragon. I am very, very excited.
Oh, yeah. We also have McCloken back with us tonight. How's it going, my friend?
Hi, I'm McCloken. I'm super excited to be back. I just wanted to point out to Tia's friend Mimi, yes, this is the same shirt as last week. This is my work shirt.
Until now, did you change?
Oh, well no, I got home, I took a nap.
This esports org called Elevate. It's a thing.
This is like one of the work. I can wear whatever I want to work, but this is like what they gave me, and so this is what I wore today. It's like when I pulled out the clean laundry pile, and I was just like, okay, and then
we're talking about this.
Yeah, well, you brought it up, but right before we went live, she's like, "Oh, my friend Mimi and we just noticed that was the same shirt as last week," very condescendingly, and was snapped.
I did not say condescendingly. I did not. There was no snapping.
There was no snapping. But now there was snapping because that makes it way funnier. Today I'll be playing Cloak, the gnome ranger who has sass.
Oh yeah, and last but not least, Mrs. Elevation herself, Laurelania.
Oh, god damn it. Elevation! Mimi, clip that.
She's so high right now, I can barely see her.
I am great. I am playing Kari, the cleric of the cat domain, who is a shadow fae, who is a little bit more reserved than her companions, believing that nature and the path of the hunter will guide her way. But she kind of sees it as like hurting her own little pack by going along with these guys now, you know. Glaz is kind of her cub in her head where she's got to keep safe, and then there's the one that always wanders out too far, you know, that's Cloak, and all the vampires, they're fine.
So basically you're saying that you think you're better than us, that you are somehow elevated above the rest of us, is that what you're saying?
Is this really going to be a thing now? Can we not?
Yep.
Can we really not?
Can you elevate your query some more, please?
Oh boy. I'm going to continue to beat this dead horse throughout the course of today's session, don't worry. But for now, I will be playing Riodan, the Dampier cleric, who has a taste for blood and for fashion, darling. He is cutting off people's heads in order to put them on his mantelpiece. Well, he's not cutting them off. That would be savage. He's getting Carrie to do that instead. Because why on earth would I do something?
I did it. Carrie fucked it up.
Oh, you did that? Yes, you tried.
Don't give Carrie credit. She fucked everything up. Don't elevate her above me.
Oh boy. But yes, that's what we'll be playing today. Also, thank you to Dave for that Wild Magic Surges. One for everyone from Dave to kick things off today with a spice. But I remind you guys, of course, today we are here because of Kobold Press. Exclamation point Kobold will take you to Kobold Press, where you can check out all of their Midgard books and materials. We're using the Midgard campaign, the World Book, and the Hero's Handbook today. So definitely go and check that out. Immerse yourself in the world and get a new lease on your D&D life with the realms of Midgard. Of course, we're using all of those materials on Fancy Grounds, who also sponsor Encounter Roleplay. So check out fancygrounds.com. You can try out their virtual tabletop for free, and I think the license starts at $4. So go ahead and check it out for all of your games that you're playing with your friends online. And of course, waylandgames.co.uk are a miniature line of choice. You can also buy all of the D&D books on there as well, and up to 20% off the retail value. So we've got pre-orders on for Dragon Heist and Undermountain right now, so definitely go and check those out and get them a little bit cheaper than you might elsewhere. Also, you guys can interact with today's show. If you haven't followed the show yet, hit the follow button. We're just a few followers away from a viewer decision where you guys get to decide something which happens next in our campaign. And of course, retweet this tweet here, and we'll have another viewer decision. Last but not least, donate to affect the game by giving players nat 1s, nat 20s, wild magic surges, and worse. Speaking of which, I'm going to go and roll mine. While I do that, I'm going to hand over to Dan Dillon to remind us what happened last week on the show and to take us into this episode of The World Tree Burns.
All right. When last we left our heroes, they had continued to explore the lost halls of Everforge, an ancient dwarven hold, just a day or so's travel, 2 days if you don't have canny rangers with you, which these fine fellows do, to the north in the Margrave Forest, outside of Zobek. They are searching for an abducted dwarven armor smith who Riodan had engaged to forge some plate armor for him. Once they arrived, they found that the place was overrun with these kobolds and hired human and basically just lowlifes and ruffians who they managed to capture one of them and squeeze some information out of him last time. They learned that there was a individual by the name of Spensius who hired these brigands in order to help him claim this place, clear out anything that was living here before, and to hold it while he did some strange magical work, apparently at the behest of a dragon who is also here lurking in the complex somewhere. They also know that there is a ley line of some amount of power that flows in this area. In fact, Glaz can hear its song chiming like a piccolo down the hallways, and they know roughly where it is, thanks to their friend who they convinced to help them out, who drew them a crude but effective map that showed several of the chambers of the halls, as well as the location of a number of secret doors that allow side access without going up the main hallway. And that's where we left off, in one of those side secret tunnels, or secret chambers, that at one point were, it was clearly some sort of treasure chamber or the like. They cracked open a iron strongbox, releasing a deadly poison gas into the room, which thankfully everyone survived. But they claimed a fair amount of treasure from inside that box, a great deal of coin, as well as a few magical potions. And that is where we find ourselves. So what is your first move?
We took a rest inside of the hall that we like barricaded with Glaz's mud, right?
You guys had completed a long rest in basically what was a makeshift barracks. Okay. And you were disturbed during your long rest by a bandit captain who was looking for some of his people that you had already slain. You all ambushed him, dispatched him after a short but very brutal fight, and then cleared out some kobolds and bandits, and then used the map to find this secret chamber where the treasure was hidden. And just to remind you, you have a secret door in this room that you know goes to the north that leads into what you suspect is a kitchen, having spied in through the main door from the hallway. And you know that there are a series of secret doors that will send you up through the chambers that will lead to another room on the side of the Great Forge itself.
Well, my first wild magic surge was anyone standing near me and facing me is now covered in moss. So,
nice.
Boy.
All right. So in the wake of cracking open that treasure chest, sadly, no one searched for or at least discovered the trap hidden within it. That noxious yellow-green fume spewed out into the room and was choking you all. Now your skin starts to prickle as all of you, since you are all there, can see that little patches of greenish something starting to grow on your skin. Like just little scaly patches here and there from where this vapor settled on you.
Oh, this is like the swamp funk that used to get on us back up in the dire marsh.
That's just moss from my cloak. It's okay.
It's gross. I can tell you that much. Let's get pretty surges real quick. Squall, what did Glaz get?
Glaz got the next time that when the caster enters a lake, he's hit by 2d8 harpoons.
He's fished. Don't go any lakes.
At level 2, that's like not good. Not good at all.
Not good at all.
My wild magic is that all weapons within 50 yards get a +2 to hit against summoned creatures.
Cool.
That's super useful. And Cloak.
What?
Cloak, I've got this one for you here. Cloak's torso is sought by wizards for its alchemical properties.
Interesting.
Glass. That's incredible.
And that's from the point where. Oh wait, no, you gotta do yours.
Just Canes real quick here. 4, 5, 3, 5. You got it?
No, I'm still looking. Have you got it down?
I've got it. Yep. If you are wearing armor, you are soaked with lamp oil.
Oh my god, I'm so flammable.
Well, you are definitely wearing armor, so yeah. There's Glaz. There is a sudden keening screech that pierces its way through this normal, kind of upbeat but peaceful song of the ley line behind you, and it causes you to flinch and actually grab towards your head as this piercing note rips through your ears and your mind. And about all this time is when the moss is beginning to grow on your skin and on your cloak. It's kind of creeping off of your red cloak and growing into your hair and the like. That is about the time that you smell a very pungent aroma. And you can see that, Kane, you look down and you feel yourself suddenly just soaking wet, and you can see thick kerosene just sort of pouring out from between the seams of your armor and running over your hands and arms and chest.
Good. Oh, that's just gross. That's unhygienic.
No, let's get a torch and look closer.
I cannot be the flaming damp here. Not with Reardon in the party. That's just not possible.
Hot stuff.
Question. What potions did we get? I remember a healing potion and then 2 great potions.
Climbing potion.
You found a potion of climbing, which looks like 3 different colors: gray, brown, and sort of a darker charcoal. And the layers of liquid settle in these strata. And when you agitate them, they mix and swirl, but then they always settle back into those separate layers.
Okay, so 1 healing potion and 1 climbing potion. All right.
And then we each got a gem worth 50 gold, and I took the diamond. For my spell.
There were. I have the other one.
Yeah, there's 5 total gems: 2 diamonds, 1 carnelian. I forget the other ones. The lapis lupus or whatever. Yeah, I have it written down. I can pull it up.
Right. Well, that's very well.
Yeah, 2 diamonds, 1 sapphire, 1 blue spinel. That was it.
Blue spinel.
Okay.
Yep, 2, and the carnelian.
Yep.
Well, now we've got all
there
of
you
the
have it.
stuff. What are we going to do with it? Are we going to press onwards?
Yeah. As I suggested before, let's keep the bear out of a fight. And I look over at the bear. The bear probably looks fucked up right now. As well as I look over at Kane and it's like, yeah, can you just shoot your bow? Don't run into the room anymore.
Well, we have talked that potentially that since we know that we have quite a few kobolds and some of these more of these bandits in there, while I could not put probably a dragon to sleep, I could perhaps put some of the kobolds and others to sleep. If you would like me to try,
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, we can try that. Hold on. Let's look into the next room because we know where the door is. And can I search for the secret door?
Yes. Given that you have the location of this particular door marked on your map, and you have a pretty good idea of what you're looking for, having located several of them in the complex already, you head up to this little alcove in the northwestern corner of the room, and after you clear some crates away from the back of it, you find the hidden catch built into the wall that swings an entire great section of the stone free on a hidden hinge.
Cool.
Yeah, when it does that, is there people in the room?
What's that?
Is there people in the room as the door opens?
Well, it doesn't like swing all the way open. You press the catch and it just kind of releases, and then you have to grab it and pull it.
Oh, okay.
So if there was anyone right there, they might notice that section of wall going choop. But
okay.
You wait just a tense second and you don't hear anything. And if you recall, this was a room that you guys peeked in from the hallway, determining that it was probably a kitchen of some sort, and that it seemed to be empty. There was no light inside, and you didn't hear or see anybody in there when you peeked.
From this angle, with my dark vision, I'm going to peek in and see if I see anything.
Sure.
Point out. Let me get used to using the character sheet to roll. Perception. Here we go.
Ooh.
Mamma mia! 14.
Oh.
Okay, so you take a moment, you listen very intently, and you peek through the cracked open secret door to see as much as you can, and you are fairly convinced that there is nobody waiting in the next room.
Okay. I look at everyone and I say, okay. Let's just take our time. And then, like, Cloak is going to stealthily walk in there.
Okay.
Here's my... Do you want me to make a stealth roll?
Sure. You can go ahead.
Apparently, that was an 8 plus 4 is 12. It did. Apparently, it wasn't... It was too far up, so I didn't want to register, but it was a
Gotcha.
8 plus 4 is 12.
Your die roll probably missed the little roll window. You have to roll. That's your tray. You got to roll in that. Okay, so a 12. All right. So you creep in, and you end up in sort of a smallish. Taking a second to look around, it looks like it was maybe at one point a pantry. There are the remains of shelves, shelf brackets, and some even rotten wood planks on the walls, and there are ancient scraps that were probably once sacks full of food and ingredients and other things like that, but it's all just dust and detritus and rubble now. You push your way out into what is indeed a kitchen, and you can see some of the smashed stone tables in the dining area across the way. There are counters where food was once prepared, rusty hooks on the walls where you can still see remains of a few utensils and skillets and things of that nature hanging there that no one has felt the need to mess with. One thing that does sort of dominate this room is a great iron oven. And you can see sort of up at the above the oven door and kind of just before the flat cooktop, where there are some areas that could heat up, and you could cook food on the top of the surface there. There are a faintly glimmering red glyphs or runes in the iron.
I'm gonna roll Arcana on that and be like, also
Oh,
kind of.
Does Glass see them, or do you went in by? Did you go in by yourself? We're not all following you. Or
Well, I'm in there. I'm making sure it's safe first before we just go.
Yeah, he's taking taking a quick scout. Real quick. Sure, you can make an intelligence arcana check.
What is
pretty
it?
Good, pretty good. So, it is indeed. You recognize this isn't ever is something that you've ever dealt with, and it's a little bit out of your bailiwick, so you're not 100% sure what the deal is. But you can tell that the runes are related to elemental fire, and it looks like they have they draw from the schools of both conjuration, evocation. Conjuration and evocation.
Okay. But yeah, I would make sure as I like take note of that as I'm walking by, I would go notice or go kind of see if anyone's like skulking about in here, or if anyone's like in here or has been in here, and then as soon as it's okay, I'll go get everyone else.
You're content that there is nobody lurking about in the room now. There probably has been fairly recently. You can see some relatively fresh tracks in some of the dust and some fresher scuff marks on the stone. But no, all looks clear for the moment.
Those scuff marks, do they go to the other secret entrance that's north?
Some of them in fact do, yes.
Okay. I would go back to the others, and I would open the door, and I was like, "Okay, it's good to come in, but Glass, I need you to come see something."
Even though he says just Glass, I follow along with them.
Wherever he's going, I'm going.
I think you were muted, Tull.
Oh yes, yes, of course. How can I help you? How can I help? Did you find something interesting?
Right, no, look over here. And then he walks over and he's like, you see these runes? Like, you see that one, which is like, like raw, and that one's like, and and when they're like combined and they have like the element of fire, and there's like conjuration and evocation with them. But that's all I really know. Maybe you know a little bit better.
Oh, well, I mean, with what you are saying about these runes, I think we could probably assume, because there's a large stove here that is probably used for cooking. It is a magical stove.
Right, now, Glaz, your background is Bemian Scholar, right? And I think your specialty is runes and sigils, isn't it?
It's runes and glyphs, yes.
Okay, all right, so then with kind of building on what Cloak was able to determine at a quick just kind of glance and assessment of them, you were able to confirm what he said. They are definitely related to conjuring and manipulating elemental fire, and you can tell that this oven is essentially a minor magic item, and the runes must draw on the power of the ley line to channel heat and flame into it, so it's a fuel-less oven. Essentially, you can puzzle out essentially the word that's spelled in Ignan in the glyphs, and that is a command word to activate the oven.
Now this is quite interesting. So you'll see what it has done is it has taken the ley line, because we have been using the ley line, and if you have noticed, it has been doing like heat and hot things. It might look like it's red. Some of my spells look like they're a little bit red when I'm using the ley line. And so you'll see what they have done is they've tapped into that. And so what you can do is, instead of having to wait logs or coal or oil or gas or any of those types of things, what you do is you come in, you say this word. Of course he says it. You'll say this word.
All right, so let me stop you right there. Cloak, since you rolled a 20, you can tell something hasn't been quite sitting right with you, and you haven't been able to put your finger on it, as he just starts rattling off on his explanation of what's going on, and he gets to the point where he says, and if you say, you can tell he's about to read the word, just as he's about to say it, it hits you what's wrong. There is way too much energy flowing through these glyphs, given the explanation he's given you that this is just an oven for cooking, and it's supposed to get warm to hot to cook things. You suspect there might be something on the order of an explosion if it were to be activated right now. And so you can, exactly. You could just like jump up and slap your hand over his mouth and stop him from saying it.
I would punch him in the knee. I'd be like, no! And punch him in the knee and like look at him. Like, no, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Okay, I need you to focus. Don't say that word, because if you feel the magic from that, that magic's really a lot. And if you say that word, kaboom.
I'm going to stay by the door back here. You have fun, boys.
Oh, we have to hang out with everyone. I'm going to go where he goes, and then we hang out to the thing that could explode, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to hang out over here because I'm cool. Look at me.
I'm not insane.
Glass, can you disable it?
Glass and fire, and you. Something's going to blow up.
So with my glyphs and knowledge of ley lines, can I try to suss out what's going on here in more detail, or is that about all we're going to learn with what Glaz has told me, that it's basically overcharged?
It's essentially overcharged or drawing too much juice, to put a kind of a basic spin on it. You think that it will probably still function, but you suspect that anyone standing nearby when the word is spoken or when it's activated might be in trouble.
Can I roll something, or can I puzzle together that this probably is a oven that was a useful oven at one point, and that something has changed the ley line to, instead of being a weak little ley line that would give it a trickle, that is it that basically that the what's supposed to be a 1 TIG plug is now like a 240 plug for this oven type idea.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Okay.
And it could be from just however many decades that this has been neglected and hasn't been maintained. Something may have just gotten out of whack. Perhaps something did indeed happen to cause a greater surge of power to flow through the ley line that's kind of overloaded. That would certainly check out with a lot of your experience, because magic has been behaving very strangely hereabouts. So,
well, in the screech and everything too. So, I am concerned that perhaps what they are doing up there in that forge that they were saying before has affected the magic in this area, and that it is surging in weird and strange ways that might be unpredictable for us as we keep going forward. Maybe we should be careful with magic.
Yeah, well, what are we going to do about this? We could use it to our advantage, can't we?
Kane, you suddenly find yourself feeling very uncomfortable when they're talking about this thing exploding into elemental fire, and here you are just sodden with kerosene.
Kane hasn't gone into the room for that explicit reason, and also just to avoid people trying to talk to him. But at this point, like mentioning of the surges, Kane will come over to sort of Reardon as Reardon has exited the room, and he looks at Reardon, and then as his owl sort of swivels to look at him, the owl says, "You spoke of surges before."
Well, I say a lot of things about surges.
Because you literally started talking about wild magic surges because everything you were saying was in character, so now I'm like,
yes.
Hold on a minute, surges. Everything knows all about that.
The goddess Marina, she sometimes grants me visions of the future. I'm not sure what they mean, but maybe she's given us wisdom to stay back from the two maniacs in the group. I say as I like hold the head of the man before. Let them get up to whatever they're going to do, and if they
both Kane and the owl nod in agreement, like, yep, 100%, stand back.
Kari growls lowly from the back of her throat.
All right.
So, I mean, maybe we can lure some people in here and then activate it and kabooey them. But I don't know how big the explosion is.
It was quite a bit down the hole, and try to get them to get all the way down here. I think perhaps the way to have done it would have been maybe to lure the people that we all just killed into here and then blow it up. But,
well, there's actually, if you look, there's people beyond that door. I don't know if they're actually in there.
We'll get the people. Oh, they're in the. Oh, I did not know. Are you gone to the next room? There are more people in the next room.
Yeah, hold on. And then he walks up to the door and looks for the activation thing, and then slowly hits it. And he's like, I should have thought about this, but maybe we all should just like hide, and then I'll lure them out, and then you trick the thing when they run by it. If they're back there.
Okay, I'm all in. Let's do this.
Okay. Plus,
We're
it'd be
gonna
really
hide
cool.
here.
Well, hide behind something from the stove. Where is the stove?
I think it's this thing up in the corner, right?
The
the one to the north?
stove. Yeah, more or less. Yep.
Cool.
It's
Yep. Big old metal
yeah.
metal looking thing in the north corner there. Yep.
Oh, sorry.
And then
Did
so
the
the secret door is over in the corner across from the stove. So just straight left of it.
Okay, hold on. I'm not seeing the metal thing. Oh, are you talking about in the room all the way south?
Nope.
No, where I just put the arrow.
Is it where the
Did you-
15-foot marker is right now?
Yeah.
Yes, it's where the 15-foot marker is right now. Like right where the letter the numbers 15 are. That's the stove.
Oh, I thought we were in the room above that.
Nope.
Okay, I thought that was the kitchen area and the area above. Okay, I'm totally confused on where we're at then. Hold on, let me expand the map out a little bit. Oh, never mind. I had half the map open, so I'm a dummy. I apologize. Yeah, okay. So where we're at, okay, I understand where we're at. If you guys hide over here and then like where that little cove is, and then Glaz, once you see him coming in, you can yell that word and activate it, and then we can knock him out a little bit.
Sure, I'm all in.
All right. And then I kind of guide everyone into that little 4-square space over there, and then go and start looking for the door trigger.
Okay, so your plan is surmising that there are people in the next chamber, and you're going to lure them in here, and then use the oven as a bomb, right?
Yes.
Pretty much.
Okay, got it. Okie doke. All right, so you can have people hide wherever they like, and you can go trigger the door when you are prepared.
How big of an explosion did you guys theorize?
Oh, hard to
It'll be
say.
pretty big. It'll be nice.
I'm getting out of this room entirely.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Can I try
like,
to figure out if this explosion will like do the entire fucking room?
Sure. Make an intelligence arcana check.
It probably won't.
It probably will, though. Oh, my intelligence arcana is not very good. That is an 8 type.
That's why
no idea.
That's why I put you guys in a little cubby.
I would like to be.
so
in the
thoughtful.
room we, so in the room we entered into this room through, I'd like to be back in that room, leave the door wide open, and.
Yep, I'm with him.
I'm right there with you.
With something.
You're going
I'll be right back.
Right. Right. So you're going back into the treasure room just in case.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
I have
Okay.
Misty Step on like the edge of my tongue just in case it looks like it's going to come too far. I just want to be very clear about that.
Okay.
Yes, and I've,
All right.
Maybe
I've got Spell of Dying ready for those two.
Nice.
Revivify might be
Okay.
better though.
All
So
right.
when you're ready, you can mess with whatever you like.
So I'm gonna.
Touch buttons.
Oh, what?
So you're going to go through the secret door, see if there's anyone there. If there is, be like, hiya, have them run in, and then theoretically be fast enough so that we're over around the corner when we yell out the magic word.
Yeah.
We're going to die. Okay.
Yeah.
I really like Glass, too. I really enjoy playing Glass.
I'm rooting for you. 2 thumbs up, way up.
I'm really banking on these walls will hold up. These walls look really solid, don't they, Dan?
Incredibly solid, yes.
Okay.
Don't they look
Solid wall.
These
You're going to ricochet right off that solid wall when the explosion blasts you.
bone-breakingly reinforced and solid.
Yeah.
If this
This is one of those
is
moments
the last
where
moment before
as a DM, you just sit back and be like, "Oh, sure,
Yeah.
this is gonna be
Yeah,
great."
Break your neck on a wall like that.
All right. So, Cloak, you're heading up to the secret door and triggering the release catch, yes?
Yeah, I'm on a stealth to do it quietly, just in case someone is. Well, if someone's on the door, they're already aware. But like, I want to stealth and perceive to see if anyone's in there, because no one might not be in there. So this all might be for not.
Distinct possibility. Go ahead and make your dexterity stealth and wisdom perception checks.
All right, a 11 for a stealth.
Okay.
If they do good, they're gonna be aware. And then a 15 for perception. For some odd reason, it didn't click over, but I rolled a 12 plus 3.
No problem. All right. So you press the little. You find the hidden stone that is the release catch. You press it in, and it pops the door loose. And you very carefully swing it just open enough to take a look in. The chamber beyond, much like this one, is dark. There are no lights burning, and you hear nothing.
Like nothing, or like this is creepy nothing.
Like after the faint whisper grind of stone on stone as you slide the door open. Well, thank you very much for the donation.
Thank you, Dave.
I think everybody just gained another nat 20. That will come in very, very handy. All right.
Why do you guys feel like that?
So don't you guys worry about it. That's my problem. That's not your problem. So there's just that whisper as you very quietly pull the door open. It sounds it's just hollow and empty beyond, sepulchral, like you've just opened up the stone closing off a tomb. And you hear nothing.
All right. Looking around, no one's hiding behind the door. I want to just make sure. And I'm gonna slowly make my way in, and peer into the darkness with my dark vision, and slowly make my way like to room, and like peeking in and like looking around, and then also being super paranoid and like looking behind me all the time.
Okay, so as you slink into the series of rooms, the floor here is much cleaner than most any other chamber you've seen so far, with the exception of the room with the 2 thrones. If you recall, that room was essentially untouched, empty, probably because it was literally haunted and scaring the shit out of everyone who went near it. This room is much the same, minus the scary shit. There's no furniture. There's not even any real rubble. There's just a very faint little bit of dust. The walls are still, the plaster on the walls is still intact, although the frescoes that were painted on it at one time have faded to almost beyond recognition. And so this is basically just a series of empty rooms at this point. And with your tracking skill, you can tell that at one point, sort of every now and then, there are groups of creatures that sort of congregate in here. And you can find an area where it looks like they'd set up some either bedrolls or pallets or the like, but those aren't present at the moment.
Okay.
And so you find the main stone door that leads back out into the hallway, and if you want, you can take a moment to locate the secret door that you, I believe, have marked on your map.
Yeah, I would locate that door.
Yep. So you find yet another secret door leading to the north.
And does that one look like the dust has been disturbed by it recently?
Go ahead and make me a wisdom perception or survival check, your choice.
Let's do survival. Let's change it up a little.
Okay.
6.
A 6, eh?
Yeah.
You know, difficult to tell. This room is devoid of much of the other rubble and detritus that would help hold tracks. So you're really not able to get a read of if anybody's used this door recently or not.
Is there like kind of? Oh, so this is going to be a weird thing I'm going to do. Is there a way where how the door opens? Because I've seen how the passages work. Is there a way I can somehow put like one of my silver coins like on the wall, just in case they like someone opens up the secret passage? You would hear the coin.
Right.
fall.
So you want to try and wedge one of your coins in there. So if it opens, the coin drops. You hear it hit the stone.
Yeah.
That is certainly possible. Recall in here that the masonry is masterfully put together, and so there's almost no gap between the stones. It's almost impossible to see the seams in these doors. So something like that is very possible. You might have to do something like crack the door open and then kind of slam it on the coin, if that makes sense.
Is there a way I can lean the coin on the so where the right angle is there at the bottom of the door, put the coin up just lean it there because I can't wedge it in anywhere, but where if someone opens the door you would hear the coin skitter with the door.
Yeah, you could do that. A coin just sort of falling over and skittering the sound wouldn't carry very far, but if you were say on the other side of the room you'd probably hear it. Okay. But that basic idea could certainly be expanded into something larger, heavier, louder, that if the door were to open, it would fall, make a noise, and you'd hear it from farther away. Like you can go get a chunk of one of the stone benches from the kitchen and lean it up against the door, that sort of thing.
Or like one of the metal pots or pans or something.
Yeah, there's pots and pans.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
So Glaz back in the room is 98, 99.
No.
100,
No.
101.
No, I forgot you were counting. No, it's that room is clear. I'm setting. Let's hold on.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Why aren't you running?
Yeah.
Aren't you supposed to be running? Should I yell the word
in there? No.
Oh.
As he's like next to the stove, and he's like, "No, don't yell the word. Hold on." And then he grabs a pot and like runs in there and sets it up where handle on the ground. So if it moves, the pot's gonna fall over.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then he would go like, and he would run back to the other room to Glaz, and he's like, and he would talk to everyone else and be like, "Yeah, it's all clear. So how can we use this magic to our advantage? Can we put it like you're good with ley lines and runes and stuff? Are you able to can we put it into something? Like there's extra magic coming out. Can we take the excess magic and?"
Muted.
I don't
You're muted.
think that's how magic works.
Dan, is this like an old potbelly stove where the burners sort of pull out and that the actual thing that has a rune on it is not the entire stove, but is actually like a burner type idea? Or is it that it's a big, giant piece of metal that it's etched into?
That's a good thought. It's a big, giant piece of metal that it's etched into. Yep.
Okay. By the time we tried to get this detached, I mean, the runes don't transfer really. Well, actually, wait a second. Well, it depends. It depends on what is actually happening here. With my knowledge, could I transfer a rune onto like a cast iron skillet? Or that's got to take time, though, right? Because it's like enchanting an item, right?
Right. This is essentially a magical. Yeah, the stove is essentially a magic item. It might be possible to do something like that. It is beyond your skill.
Yeah. Okay. It is beyond my skill.
Okay, that's fine. So let's move on then and get everyone out of this room. I'm sure Kane really loves this room because he wanted to,
Hey, everybody, we didn't blow things up.
All right, so you can call to your companions and bring them back together and stop lurking in the hallways and or in the secret doors.
Laz, please remember to use your inside voice when we are sneaking.
But there's nobody around. I will be quiet. I'm sorry. It is very exciting here because there's a ley line. Did you see that? I tell you there's a ley line up ahead that I'm very excited about.
And an exploding stove.
And an exploding stove.
I'm glad that we are not burning alive this day. Can we go on now?
So where to now?
To the room up north.
Straight to the room up north?
Going, at least.
Okay.
Are we going through the secret passageway to the room in the north, or are we going back out through the hallway and back?
Cloak is suggesting the secret passageway to the room to the west of the Great Forge.
That rectangle room.
Yep. There is another main room that you guys haven't explored on the other side of the main hallway. I just want to remind you about that, if that is something you want to check out. Okay, so Cloak is heading toward the secret door. Everybody else good with that, or?
Yeah,
I'm going to stay in the back, but I am going to follow through once everybody is gone through. Okay.
So, Cloak, you can head up to the secret door and scooch the pot aside and pop her open.
Okay. The one thing I have not forgotten about that other room over there. I just maybe, I don't know if we're, on a time-sensitive thing. So I'm trying to get to our destination, which is the main chamber, which I know is up here. The other room, I want to check out on the way back if Cloak survives.
So, I will throw out there, you guys aren't on any particular time clock that you know of. You have already taken one long rest in here, so at some point you're going to be, spending an awful lot of time essentially in a hostile environment, and that's up to you how long you want to risk doing that. It'll be more along the lines of, do you want to clear these chambers before facing the potential dragon that might be waiting for you in the forge room, or just going straight for that and risking whatever might be around or behind? And that's entirely up to you. I just didn't want a week. I didn't want a week's break to take us away from that.
So, what do you guys want to check out the other room, or do you guys just want to expedite what we're doing and make sure, we can check out to see if everything's clear, but I kind of want to leave it to you guys.
I thought that you wanted to find your own magic dwarf.
Just player-wise, if we have another combat, I don't think that there's any chance of us being able to do whatever's in there, but also if reinforcement comes, I think we're dead too.
Yeah, I learned this lesson in World of Warcraft. Take care of the mobs first and then go for the boss.
Yeah, clear the trash.
I really would like to...
it's like No Mergon, you bring the whole thing down on you with the boss fight.
Yeah. Damn it, I hate that you're lying. Okay, so I would like to go through the trapdoor into that room and then cross over to the other room and check it out, and then go into the...
So, I know we don't know there's statues in it. Hello.
You said, I'm sorry, Kari, you said something about a trapdoor? Did you want to check in the secret door and then backtrack, or...?
No, I wanted to go, so I see the room you were talking about that we haven't explored to the north, the one with the 4 pillars it looks like inside of it. I wanted us to go through the trapdoor into the room that's north above us, check out that room, and then once we're done that, cross the hallway and then go into that room, because I don't want to leave to chance, like Glaz had said, that something's going to come up behind us.
Yeah. Okay, that is... Cool. Yeah, that's what I understood. So sure, whenever you guys want to pop that secret door open, it can be done. We can do it.
Can we check it for traps?
Sure. Who'd like to check it for traps? You absolutely may. You can make an intelligence investigation.
Who activated a trap?
Yeah, you can make an intelligence investigation or a wisdom perception, whichever you prefer.
Intelligence investigation. That is an 8.
An 8. All right. You are pretty sure it's nice and clear. And you suspect that... You suspect that this bit here is the release catch for the door, but you're not entirely sure. You've just seen Cloak do it a bunch.
Which door is she at right now?
She is at the secret door leading to the north. I wish I could change the color of my drawing pen on this map. Marking pointers.
I think it actually matches with the color of your dice, because I'm yellow. And I think it's because that's the color of my dice.
So she's checking.
Can you see my...
Yep, I see.
You're wiggling my hand.
As Kari's going to investigate that door, it's like, are you sure you want to go open that one now?
She looks confused for a moment. because she was standing in the hall and they talked about.
Go away.
All right, you choose the door.
Well, I already looked in the room. Beyond the stove. I already looked in that room. No one was in there.
Yeah, no, you guys are in the room beyond the stove, right?
Okay.
Our understandings of each other.
Confused where we're at. Okay.
So I'm gonna put my marker in. That's where I was hiding. Then that's where the stove is.
Okay.
And then
okay. That
yeah. So I was hiding down here, and I claimed that the other party members were down, like where all the boxes were, because they didn't want to get hit by the exploding stove.
Right, but then I thought you called everybody back up.
Right. And then I think isn't the marker where the marker is where you lean the pot, right?
Yes. The marker my little circle marker is where you lean the pot.
Okay.
Right. So my thought would be is that we're now going out this door to go in that door.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. I thought you were at this door up here, and I was like, no, so never mind. Cloak didn't say shit. I apologize. I confused it.
All right. So the plan is to leave the secret door alone for now after clearing it of traps, and you guys are going to go across the hall to the last room on the right there.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right. That can be done. 1 second. Sorry.
So thankful for the marker because I thought we were still over where the beige arrow was.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how to delete the beige arrow. I was trying to.
If you right click on it, does it? I don't know.
No, it just gives me resize.
Okay, so you guys step out into the hallway, which again is very brightly lit. There are these torches in iron sconces along the walls, and it looks like, in fact, that they are the torches are iron. And they're riveted to the walls themselves. And the flames, now that you kind of have been around them for a while, they just seem to spring out of these iron sort of grated baskets at the top of these rods, and the flames just spring up out of nowhere. There doesn't seem to be any fuel in them. All right, so you can head across to the stone door. I cannot find one of my reference sheets, unfortunately. So can you guys give me a rundown on your passive perception scores real quick?
Glass is 11.
13.
I'm the same. I'm 13.
Hey.
Kane and Riodan, what are you guys' passive perceptions?
Muted. You're both muted, I think.
Or not
13.
talking?
Sorry, I was
I
was away with the fairies.
14. Sorry, I couldn't see it. Yeah, 14.
14. Okay, got it. Thank you. So, how would you like to approach this door?
By any chance, are the sconces you were talking about, do they have runes on them? Are they operating sort of the same way that the stove does? Is that knowledge?
They don't seem to have any runes on them, but you would surmise that they're probably drawing energy from the ley line to create fire and light, yeah.
Oh, this is very, very interesting. Look, you could use a ley line for anything, see? Because I'm tall, so I'm looking like right at them.
Now they're too elevated for me to see.
It is said that the ancient magocracies, before most of them were destroyed, they bent ley lines with the size of great rivers and twisted them around the landscape to their will and created things like flying cities.
Oh, see, we learned about this back in the days, but that was different. And see, because Bimmy is sort of like this, but not quite. It's not as strong, but we moved the ley lines to there, so it is so cool up there. There's a lot of magic everywhere. You can use it for lots of things. And this is kind of like that, but not really. It's a little bit different.
You know, there's life outside of college, Class. There's nothing sadder than someone who only talks about their college days.
So who'd like to go through the door?
Some of us have not lived hundreds of years. She says, getting a little bit bristly in Glaz's defense.
I still remember college. It was bloody awful. I mean, bloody and awful, both in two very good ways. But, you know, you don't hear me talking about that the whole time.
As like, so as Reardon's talking, the owl just whispers to Carrie, "He dropped out." It says nothing else.
I guess it's like everyone's bickering. Cloak is just like, yeah, college. And then he's like gonna go to the door and he's going to try to open it stealthily.
Okay. You can grab a hold of the pull ring and pull the door open, or push it open as it is. So go ahead and make a
12.
Okay, it's reasonably quiet as you push the door open. Light spills out from within, and you glimpse in, and you can see a great room before you. And there are 4 pillars in each of the rough corners of the rooms, carved to look like dwarven weaponsmiths holding up the ceiling. There are mirrors and pieces of polished metal all over every inch of the walls and on and adorning the carved pillars themselves. There are a few more of those sort of ever-burning lay-fueled torches scattered about the room, and the light is just amplified as it bounces between all of these reflective surfaces and shines out in all directions, particularly towards your eyes at the cracked door. As you pull the door open, it's almost dizzying to look inside because you can see the movement of the door reflected all around the room.
Oh, it's like you guys ever been to like I don't know, like, you know, like sometimes mages have like those rooms that are full of mirrors because they like really like looking at themselves all the time, like Riordan's room. So
almost entirely mirrors. Yes.
Oh yeah, and it's like super bright. It is. Wow. Yeah.
So you blink and kind of reorient yourself a little bit and just kind of keep your eyes down toward the floor to avoid that very disorienting sensation of all the reflections getting shattered into 1,000 pieces all over the walls. You can see that there is an object in the center of the room, and it gleams bright gold in the torchlight.
I'm going to make my way closer to the door to take a look inside. I know it's going to be incredibly painful to my eyes, but I still... Cloak gives very weird descriptions of things, so Kari's a little lost.
Sure. Cloak, you don't see any creatures or people or anything inside there. It looks empty.
Okay.
And that's the only thing. And like, these guys look like they're holding something up, like the ceiling.
They're holding up the ceiling.
Yeah, I don't something. Okay, there is this nice room that has all these mirrors, and then there's something in the center, right there.
I'm gonna roll perception on this room. This room really is like picking up.
Can I make a history check?
So far all you've done is really like peek through a crack in the door, right? You haven't really opened the door and
as soon as I can, I want to like look over.
Like if you guys want to get a better look at it, you can.
I'm opening the door and like standing really at the door.
So I'm basically like looking over top of him is what I figure, because it's not like he picks up a lot.
I figure you're essentially just right behind him there. Okay, so you guys crack the door open, you open it up and look inside, and the light kind of spills out into the hallway, and the rest of you can all see it now, and you can catch little glimpses from your various positions as you look in through the open door of all of those reflections scattered and shattered about the room. You can see in the center of the room is a great golden box, and it takes you a moment to sort of ignore all the reflections, focus on the thing in the center there, and it looks like a sarcophagus.
Oh fuck.
Does it look like a dwarf-sized sarcophagus?
Simply, there's nothing better than sleeping in a sarcophagus, let me tell you.
It looks like it would be large enough to house a medium-sized creature, probably taller than a dwarf. It looks like it's perhaps 6 to 7 feet long.
I still would like to make a history check to see if I know anything about possibly the 4 people that might protect the king. this area? That's all I got to go with to try and figure out what this room is.
There's really no way you would know who those were depicting, but like, what are you trying to get a sense of?
Is this like a protected tomb of the king where if like we go and try and disturb it, we're going to be cursed for 1,000,000 billion years?
Oh, you know, that's always possible.
Is this the mummy?
It very much has a feeling like this place is one of, this is one of veneration. But you know what? I will go ahead and let you make a history check to notice something else. Make an intelligence history check, please.
Do we get a multi-spoken Ark of the Covenant kind of feel of this thing?
This is no forge.
I cannot roll above a 10 today.
Yeah. So is that just a 7? All right. You're kind of overwhelmed by the spectacle, and again, anytime you spend time sort of examining this room, it's very visually disorienting, because now that the door is open, you can actually see yourself shattered into 1,000 pieces and scattered along the walls, looking around and peering back at you.
In Glaz's experience on these archaeological expeditions, like out to Ankoshel and places like that, is this have any sort of does this sort of give him any kind of hints or notes of things that he might have seen in his other, you know, looking at ancient archaeological things, sites that he visited?
You can also make an intelligence, history, or investigation check, whichever you like.
That's a nat 1.
Oh, total of a 5. You likewise are just kind of getting caught up in the spectacle of it, and this room stands out very much from the rest of the rooms that you've seen so far. So
you say it's
very, very strange.
That it's polished metal, or is it actually like glass mirrors?
Glass mirrors.
Okay.
I
am named after glass because of the glassy eye shine that I get from this. That's where I got my name, Glassation. That's where it came from, because it is very nice in here. See how it's shiny like that?
Yeah, no, I think, and then you see Cloak kind of grab the door and he starts shutting it, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna leave the dead alone because that's not my game, man. That's just not what I do, okay?" And he shuts the door.
So everybody who's been examining the room, and those of you who've remained quiet, it's up to you to decide if you've been checking it out, looking at it. If you've been examining the room, you guys can go ahead and make a DC 10 intelligence saving throw.
There it is.
I feel that I get a bonus to this.
Fantasy grounds, probably. Looks like mine just crashed.
It says host connection law.
It'll be up in 2.6 if it lets me. Yeah, it looks like you can probably connect now.
Okay.
Hold on, I gotta find out how to get out of here.
Mine's trying to reconnect.
I mean, it should just reconnect.
Should reconnect shortly when the one loads back in again.
Oh, okay.
All the physical devices saying in the meantime, will we?
I feel like as everyone's really wrapped up, Kane's the one who's thinking to himself, we still haven't cleared this place, so he's going to be not paying attention, keeping an eye out for this group we're looking for.
Are you okay? So Kane, you're paying attention to the hallway. Go ahead and make me a wisdom perception check, please.
Can do. Oh no, it's just kicked me. Give me one sec to.
Well, if you have a physical die nearby, you can just go ahead and throw that, and while we get the fantasy grounds going back.
Mine's loaded back in now.
I have a question. So the Nihilheim gnomes, they have a trait that they have that they get advantage on intelligence and wisdom saving throws and charisma.
Intelligence, wisdom, and charisma against magic. This actually isn't a magic effect.
This is 14 plus something. I don't know what my mod is. I know it's not bad.
But a 14 on the die. All right, that's good enough. Yeah. So when Kari came up and sort of skirted around some of you and was kind of sidling up right behind Cloak, to look into the room. As you're scanning the hallway, you start just sort of paying a little bit closer attention to everything else you're looking at and tuning out all of this stuff over here. You notice that one of the flagstones that Kari stepped right past, perhaps inches away from her boot, is raised just slightly, maybe about 1/4 of an inch up away from the stones around it. You're pretty damn sure that is a pressure plate.
I will... Who's sort of not paying too much attention? Who's not like face in mirror glass substance and like? Oh, I suppose Cloak. I turned to Cloak.
Cloak was shutting the door, so he's got his back away from the room. So
yeah, I turned to Cloak and I point at the the pressure plate to sort of have someone else know as well, and yeah, like. I hopefully don't need to explain to Cloak, just...
Yeah, I mean, like... Oh, I can't connect. What? So...
Yeah, this doesn't seem to be working. I'm sorry. So just go ahead and if you have, you know, a couple of regular dice handy, just grab those and...
Yeah.
Okay, let me make my dice.
Yeah, I didn't
forget to roll
on my end save.
I don't know what my... intelligence saving throw is. Oh wait, actually no, I have my roll 20 character up. Hold on. Give me one moment.
Apologies, viewers, we're having some slight technical difficulty. We'll get it sorted out shortly.
So it'll be at a +0. I'm rolling the dice. A 6. Oh good.
A 6. All right, yeah, no, you're feeling pretty good about your decision. You're feeling good about your decision to stop staring in that room. It was really starting to jack with your head.
Okay. As Kane like points out, am I standing on the pressure plate or it's Kari like leading in?
You're close to it. She stepped right next to it. Like some of you may have noticed me roll. Some of you may have noticed me roll a die while you guys were shuffling around and you know examining and making some skill checks. I was seeing if she happened to step close enough to activate it, and she missed it.
I'd be like, Kari,
praise the.
Yes. Don't move. Watch where your footing is. Step back.
And then,
all right,
like,
so now that they
step back very carefully.
Now that they pointed out to you, you all can see the very subtle raised square of the pressure plate popped up out of the floor, just a little bit.
Oh, look how tricky they're being.
Kane's owl simply just mutters something about 9 lives and says nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Dan, I got a 12 on my intelligence save.
Okay, so Glaz, you start to basically acclimate yourself to the very strange environment in that room, and you're feeling more comfortable navigating it without getting disoriented. You're starting to get used to the. You're starting to get used to that strange effect of seeing it. Now, it got worse when the door opened and everybody was moving around, because all of that movement gets thrown around the room, so you can just see it around you constantly. But you're starting to acclimate to it, and you don't think it's going to... But you think if you were to, say, have a fight in this room, it would be incredibly distracting until you kind of became used to it.
Good to know. Good to know. So can I look at the floor and just see if I see any other pressure plates? The pressure plate that was spotted is inside the room, correct?
No, it's in the hallway.
It was in the hallway. Okay.
Yep. It was about basically so there's the 5-foot square in front of the door. It's the diagonal to that one.
Gotcha.
So basically, several people walked right by it. But so what were you gonna search for?
No, I was just, he was going to look at the floor just to see if he sees, now that he's more acclimated, to see if he sees any other pressure plates, because that was pointed out inside of the room. Am I alone in the room now? Because he closed the door on me?
You fully went into the room? Is that right?
Wait, when did you do that?
Yeah, when I was investigating on the Nat 1, Glaz would have walked in.
Oh, okay, all right.
No, Cloak would have been pulling at him like,
no. I would have been like, no. As Mama Bear, Mama Cat, whatever, Tiger Mom, just no. Like, claws into your back.
I missed that you were going.
I was thinking.
I also missed that,
we were
and there's
investigating.
no fucking way I would let that happen.
Okay, sorry. I was thinking that we were, because I kind of always under the impression that McCloakin had sort of was going in. It was kind of in through the threshold.
No.
No, I thought we were at the threshold, like looking. I thought I was like leaning on his shoulders, pretty much like looking in.
Yeah, he was at the door.
Then I would be above you, so we kind of had the totem. We kind of had the totem pole thing going.
Yes, we have the totem.
I thought Glaz would have absolutely been doing the totem pole with you guys.
Yeah, because
you guys were. I'm sorry.
Because as soon as he's like, this room is clear because there's a sarcophagus in there, and Cloak doesn't really fuck with dead things. He's just like, yep, okay, and then shuts the door.
But it's not that bad. It really isn't. Okay.
I mean. That's a.
All right, so can you guys see the square pointer that I just put on the map?
Yeah.
In the hallway. That is there's a trap there.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I said.
So Glaz, you said you were searching the floor, or was that was that meant to be in the room?
Well, it was basically if we had like turned our heads around to look at the pressure plate there. Looking into the room, the idea was looking to see if there are similar pressure plates on the floor in the room of whatever I could catch before Cloak closed the door on us.
Got it. Okay. Well, you didn't quite have the chance. So, what now?
And he would just look at Glaz and be like,
"We can always come back. I just think there's nothing in there that's really important. We don't have to fight anyone in there, so let's not overdo ourselves."
The last dead person that we found haunted her weapon and made it really cool.
Yes, but that room is
Riodan. Sorry to cut through. Riodan, you were examining the room, yes? Or were you looking in, or were you holding back and waiting for them to finish?
Peek in, see what's up.
All right. Something about the sarcophagus catches your attention, and it seems very much like it does not belong in that room.
Oh, please!
The other two who have been investigating, looking around, they've just been too scattered by all of the strange mirrors and reflections and all of that disorienting weirdness going on in there that they really didn't pick up on that. It looks like this sarcophagus was picked up from somewhere else, something familiar about it to you, and just plopped here in the middle of this dwarven hold.
No.
I'm going to call that out and say, guys, that one of these doesn't look like the others. See that one there?
Yeah, and
the door's still shutting. He's just like,
everybody else who's been looking in there, now that we've got Fantasy Grounds back, don't forget to make that intelligence saving throw.
Cool. I'm
come on, one good roll today. Come on,
natural 20. Don't mind if I.
Yeah, rub it in.
All right, Riodan, you blink and just sort of disdainfully wipe a phantom speck from your eyelid, and you just kind of ignore the weird, disorienting mirrors and reflections around you, and you don't have to worry about that anymore.
It's just like my room back home. It's quite nice.
Yeah.
In the fuck house.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, but like, there's nothing in there.
It's all too real.
I mean, it's shiny, it's golden, but it's a sarcophagus, and I don't want to disturb the dead. But that's up to you. If you guys want to go do it, I'm just, and he'll like stand back and be like, "That's all you guys, man."
You continually disturb me in many levels. It's fine.
Well, you live at a fuck house, so that's a compliment.
This is true. This man doesn't live at a fuck house, but perhaps he's built his own fuck house. Of mirrors and walls.
Perhaps we should stop using that terminology for just a little while.
Okay, not.
Why on earth would we do that? I find that deeply offensive to my people.
So are you going to check out the sarcophagus, or remaining in the hallway for now?
You let her... Glaz is pouting, he has his arms crossed. You let her disturb the dead 2 rooms ago.
Okay, we didn't know it was a ghost until she walked up to it and started like handshaking it, and that was weird. And I was like, all right, but that wasn't like a body in a casket. That was like a ghost going.
I say you should do it, Glass.
Well, I don't want to do it alone.
I will come with you, Glass.
There you go. Got a friend.
I am curious as to what is in there as well.
And you've already made friends with one ghost.
So Glaz and Kari are going in to check out the sarcophagus. Is that right?
Yep.
You're feeling like I felt with Cloak earlier, aren't you?
Yeah, we're going on in to take a look at the definitely not trapped sarcophagus.
Sounds like a plan.
I mean, I definitely want to be investigating.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys.
Can I not? Can I just not?
Can you what?
I'm trying to figure out if there's a I don't want to walk on the floor. She's all paranoid about booby traps now. I'm going to be really, really careful when I'm walking. And I'm going to lead the way for Glaz because I don't want him to die.
All right.
My investigation's probably better than yours, but okay.
Probably, but she's still she doesn't know stats. Screw you.
Yeah, I know. Right, she's the hunter, she's the cat.
Yep.
Cloak would point out if he sees anything weird on the ground, but watch out for that tile. And then if Kari's
can I do the help action to help her right there. Do the investigation?
Just fuck with her.
Sure. Yep, you can. Kari, you can make an intelligence investigation check with advantage, please.
Oh, so there's one, and there is. Oh, thank goodness for that! It doesn't matter. I cannot roll above a 10 today.
Wow, that is rough. Okay, so Kari is confidently and carefully picking her way across the floor. How did you do on that intelligence saving throw? Not so good, or
not good at all. That was the 4.
It's not such a big deal since you guys aren't having a fight here at the moment. You would think that until you become acclimated to this strange effect, you'll have disadvantage on attack rolls. But for right now, it's not really an issue. You can just kind of block out everything you're seeing around you. So she is very carefully picking her way across the floor and stepping very gracefully and deliberately around certain areas. And Glaz, you can just kind of follow along after her, knowing that those places are safe.
Yep.
All right, you guys make your way up to the sarcophagus.
One thing. While they're walking up, all Cloak's gonna do is he's gathering a pile of rocks and he's pulling out his sling and he's just collecting it. And
loading
up. If shit goes wrong, I'm breaking those mirrors.
So can I look on the sarcophagus for any magical runes, glyphs, other just arcane scripts? Things like that. Okay. If it matters, I speak.
Well, now that you guys are up a little closer to it, I can give you a little bit of a better description.
Oh, cool.
So it is in fact a sarcophagus. It has flat, smooth sides with relief images carved in them. What look like knights and aristocratic individuals, men and women. It looks like they are lording over a sort of a common rabble, and you can see that in various places women in long flowing robes are holding chalices, and there are various of those commoners sort of holding out their hands, and you can see blood in the form of carved droplet garnets pouring out of their hands and wrists and into the chalice that these women are holding out. You can see what looks like great, glorious scenes of battle and conquest with these knights and aristocratic people sort of lording over all they survey. At the top of the sarcophagus, it is essentially flat, and around the edges it is gilt, and you can see these stately faces with long fangs in the place of where their canine teeth would be. And there is a glass panel in the center of the lid, and it looks like it is smeared on the underside with what looks like this rust reddish brown crust from the underside. It makes it impossible to see through. You are muted, sir.
Sorry, I was typing. I didn't want to disturb you all.
Sure.
Kari, is it just me, or does the one in the top left look like Rio then? You know, with the fangy fangs and the blood and stuff?
Not every vampire is Riordan, but yes.
They all kind of look the same to me. Don't they look the same kind of to you? Hey, Riordan!
That's
I keep like moving my
crazy.
face, watching the eyes of it, like trying to get it to the whole like does it follow me thing.
How can I help?
Is that you?
But this,
Yes,
they,
probably.
this looks like blood sacrifice here.
It doesn't even look.
Almost certainly.
Riodan.
Yes. Why?
You approach.
I certainly
You head
do.
into the room, and okay. As you get close, you can see very, very obviously this is imagery and iconography that you recognize as being right at home from the Blood Kingdom. You see scenes of priestesses of Morena taking blood tithe from the peasantry to present their life force up to its rightful owners, their good and benevolent aristocratic lords and ladies. And you see images of possibly the deceased, maybe even the deceased family, carved in relief in heavy gold on this lid, and you can smell it immediately, the iron tang of old blood. And you look down at this glass panel, and you can see that it is indeed clotted blood that has smeared the underside and obscured whatever is interred within.
Yep, that's straight from home. We've got there's a 10 a dozen at Vampire IKEA. You get these everywhere. IKEA, if you will.
IKEA, you.
These
So
come
as
pre-made.
you,
You just have to put the bolts together and put the blood on yourself, and then you're done. Flat pack.
as he's explaining this, there is a thump from inside the sarcophagus, and you all just sort of jump, and he cuts off mid-sentence, and you can see something has disturbed the crust of dried blood on the glass, and fingertips press against it and scrape down and pull that crust away, and you can see a pallid face staring up at you, Riodan. And your breath catches as you find yourself staring into the dead eyes of Janiel. The last time you saw him, you were walking shoulder to shoulder next to him into the throne room where Lucan's demise was about to be handed down at the tip of yours and your family's swords. The last you saw of him was that magical explosion that hurled you, as luck would have it, to safety near the waiting arms of Cain. You saw him tumbling through the air, and then you lost consciousness. You don't know what became of him. But there he is, staring up at you. And his hand on the glass surges forward and bursts out and reaches up and grabs your collar and pulls you down. And he rises half up out of the sarcophagus, and blood begins to trickle down his eyes like tears. And his grip is iron on your throat, and he says in a strangled voice, "The blood still flows. The blood still flows. The blood still flows." And as he does, you can see it beginning to trickle out of his nose and at the corners of his mouth, and even spatters on your face, this crimson spray of droplets on your otherwise alabaster cheek. And this just sort of captivates you in kind of a mix of horror and sorrow, and you're really not sure what to make of it. And he just keeps repeating this thing over and over and over again, like some kind of insane mantra, and more blood pours down his eyes, out of his nose, from his mouth, and covers his face. And you stagger back as another just like welter of it bursts out with his breath and words, and his hand releases you, and he settles back into the coffin with a thud. Poof. The rest of you, as he kind of staggers back and is clawing at the blood on his face, you see a desiccated corpse burst up out of the coffin, punches through the glass, grabs him, like gibbers madly in this just insane welter of just garbled nothing. And he sort of fights it off, and the corpse slumps back down into the coffin as he staggers backward.
Is it dead?
It looks like a desiccated corpse. Its flesh is gray, pulled tight against its bones. Its lips are pulled back from its teeth, and you can see that it does indeed have fangs.
I wave my hand over the body.
Yeah. When the burst through the glass squealed like a little girl.
All right, what's everybody else? What's everybody else doing?
You see getting like loading up stones, and he's like looking at the mirrors, and he's like, no, he's still in the hallway, and he's like, I told you guys not to fuck with the dead body, but no, we had to go investigate it because I don't know why.
All right, Ryodan, as you stagger back and you slowly start to recover your wits from that bizarre incident, you can taste the a very, very like heady tang of blood that sort of dripped into your lips and spattered into your mouth while you were gaping and he was raving at you. And you hold up your hand with this smear of blood that you wiped off of your face, and you can see the blood is swirling in your palm into a little pool.
This is impossible.
Do you what manner of holy symbol to Morena do you carry? Probably something subtle, easily hidden, since her worship is outlawed in Zobek.
It's a sacrificial dagger, one that could fit into my boot.
Right, okay. You feel the dagger in your boot suddenly grow ice cold, and that icy feeling just sort of spreads like a shock through your veins to the blood, to underneath the blood in your palm, and it starts to bubble over and form a long sort of a tendril balanced across your palm. And as you watch it, it solidifies into it looks like maybe a wood, dark black or very, very dark brown rod of some sort. You close your fingers around it and it becomes a handle, and at the end you can see 3 lashes of blood pouring off of it and sort of writhing as they pour down to the ground.
Like a whip?
Like a scourge.
A scourge or a flail?
Yep.
Didn't you have one of those back at the fuck house?
I just saw. I look towards Kane. Danielle.
Yeah, Kane comes in and like hasn't had a chance to see the body, but upon hearing you say that, pushes everyone out of the way to sort of confirm what Reardon just said.
The smell of old dead blood punches you in the face, Kane, as you get close to this shattered glass, and now you can see this blood-spattered sarcophagus. The blood here, it's like, imagine the blood drawn from a corpse that's grown sort of cold and clotted and dark and just foul, and it's just smeared all down the side of the sarcophagus. It's all over Ryodan's face, except for in his hand, where it's still bright crimson, and this instrument is sort of forming out of the blood, and the lashes of it are pouring off of the side like liquid scourge tails off the end of this thing. You look into the sarcophagus where Kari is also examining, and you see this desiccated corpse.
Do I recognize it? Because I was there that day.
You were absolutely there that day. It's difficult to say for 100% certain, because this thing, I mean, it looks like it's a dried old husk, but no, it doesn't put you in mind of Jeniel at all.
I can't explain it. And it's probably the first time you guys have seen Reardan look really shaken by something. Maybe magic, maybe something else, but he just reached out of there and said the blood will flow.
The blood still flows.
Still flows. Blood still flows, and
there seems to be a lot of blood magic talk lately. Your dagger. This seems oddly connected. And she looks to Glaz, like seeing if he has any, and Cloak, if they have any insight.
There's no way he's still here.
Can I roll Arcana, and do I get advantage because I know about blood magic and the sort, with being from Nihheim?
I mean,
that's up to you. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what you could glean from this. Yeah, you don't see any specific trappings of blood magic beyond something fucking magical just happened and now there's blood everywhere. But you think it's very possible that there could be actual blood magic at work in whatever the hell that thing is he's holding. but as far as like when you get up and you examine the sarcophagus, you can tell right away it does not belong here. It doesn't match the architecture. It doesn't match the cultural style. The gold and gaudiness of it doesn't match the solid practicality of the stone construction of everything else you've seen everywhere in this place. It just seems complete. There's no explanation for why it's here.
Yeah, can we just get you guys out of that room and just shut the door like I wanted to do before, because that shit's weird, and I don't think we should have anything. And like, look at Riordan, someone who's always cocky and has something to say is speechless right now. So let's come this way. Come on.
If Daniel's trying to speak to me, I need to hear what he has to say.
Kane shakes his head and puts a firm hand on Riordan's shoulder, and
all right.
Like for the first time, Kane's not really sure why he's speaking through the bird, but for the first time, Kane actually misses being able to speak because he wants to say the words himself.
All right, if Kane tries to speak himself, he can.
So Kane, like genuinely struggling, leans into like Riordan. You watch as like he struggles, almost like he's trying to mentally remember how to like manipulate his vocal cords, and says, "Not him." And I'm gonna put my fingers on his chin and just turn him to look at the body. Does he still see Jaco?
Okay, when Kane speaks in your ear and kind of gently but firmly grabs you by the jaw and pushes you over to look, you don't see Janielle anymore. You see that withered, dry, desiccated corpse of someone who is very much a vampire, but not Janielle.
You're right, it's not him. He's dead. There's no way he could be alive.
Kane doesn't say anything to that, because in truth be told, like, neither of them really know what happened. But Kane, like, looks at the body. Who could that be?
Okay, Kari, you were pretty intent. You were pretty intently staring at the body and checking out the interior of the sarcophagus, right? Okay,
yes,
so
I wanted to investigate it.
Right. You have had plenty of time to do that, and this isn't even going to require a roll or a check or anything. You find something hidden in the now just fetid, silk-lined, cushioned interior of this sarcophagus. In the entire interior, it looks like, if you had to guess, you'd say this poor bastard's blood was just forcibly expelled from its body, and that's what caused that spatter and crust on the inside. Down near about roughly where its hip was, it's kind of scooted around now, having busted up out of the glass and then slumped back. You see an oddly specific sort of form that has a more symmetrical round shape than the rest of the kind of lumps and bumps of the cushions, also covered in that crust of ancient dried blood. You reach down and there's a little sound as she breaks it loose and pulls it away from the sticky crust, and you find a crystal flask that was inside the sarcophagus and just covered in this filth.
Open it up and smell.
So you hold it up and you kind of clear the crust away from it, and it's a brilliant sapphire blue liquid inside this crystal flask. It has a stopper that you can pop open, which when you do, it immediately begins to like froth and boil, and vapor rises up out of it and spills over the top of the flask. You can plug it back away, no problem, and it kind of settles down.
You're not having much luck with like gaseous things of late, are you?
Yeah, as that starts happening, I just look to Glaz and Cloak, and I like gingerly hold the magical whatever it is here.
I think he's recovered a little bit now, but he is a little freaked out. Do I recognize it in any way, or is it just crystal blue stuff?
Oh no, it's most definitely a potion of some type, and you guys can inspect it, investigate it, and spend some time figuring out that it is a potion of heroism.
Oh, now this.
Just to give you a quick rundown on that, so you drink it for an hour, you gain 10 temporary hit points that last for the hour, and for the same duration, you are under the effect of a bless spell.
That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, those are really nice.
Danielle, he died a hero.
Right, okay. With regards to Danielle, my experience of blood magic would have only come from Cain or Reardon's family.
Right.
Would I know if memories or anything like personality can be transferred through blood?
It's certainly possible.
Second question, would I know if you can leave almost like echoes of yourself, like an after image or like a message through blood, like through like a blood magic spell that might be triggered by, for example, contact with a specific person?
You're not familiar with any particular spell that would create that effect, but you have walked Midgard for long enough to know that traces can always be left, particularly of people who are very strong of will or dominant of personality, and then very much so if that is coupled with trauma or powerful magic, particularly uncontrolled or dark magic. That can absolutely, I mean, that's just a recipe for undead spirits.
Okay, I look to Reardon and like make sure he's in the room for starters.
I believe he is. What's Reardon doing at this time?
Yeah, he's kind of like he's actually slumped back against the sarcophagus itself, and is kind of muttering to himself about the blood still flows. What's that mean?
So I'm gonna get him back in the room, like shake him, as in like make sure he's here, and give him one of those looks that's sort of like unbreakable, sturdy. This is the real world. We are physically here. Just try and sort of get him back on the same page as me. And as I'm very intensely sort of focusing on him, the owl pipes up. Could he have left a message for you in another through blood? A warning, prophecy?
Perhaps. Perhaps. Blood still flows. Friends. Little bit of my history, I suppose, and Cain's. Both Cain and I and my companion, Danielle, we fought against the current king, Lucan, and, well, we lost. Started a rebellion there, and me and most of my kin, I escaped while they did not, including Danielle. Last I saw, they were hung up on spikes by that monster. Maybe he was trying to say something about our rebellion. Maybe he was saying that there is still a hope to return one day. Back home.
Cain like partially nods and then just almost aggressively prods Reardon in the chest. But like seemingly distracted as he does so. Your bloodline. Your blood still flows. None else in your family.
As far as I know. Could it be possible that anyone made it out of that room, Cain?
He gives you a look that's he's given you before. It's the, Kane isn't one who, you know, will mummy someone now to let them down harder later. Like, he'll give you the straight, honest, cold facts. And he shakes his head. Like, from what I remember about that, Dan, like, that was brutal, and given the power that the king displayed, like...
It's funny, thinking back on it, Lucan literally just lifted a finger, and all that did was unleash the magical wrath of his pet ghoul that you remember, that creature shrouded in white that he had at his side, who just magically devastated everyone else in that room. And the last thing you remember were these spears of bone ripping their way through the stones of the floor and impaling everyone.
Kane just shakes his head.
Lucan never even drew his blade.
It can't be. It's just a dream.
Kane shakes his head and holds you firm.
The scourge in your hand throbs once like a heartbeat.
Not knowing about that and what's going on, like, Kane just like makes him look at him and just, this means something.
I agree, old friend. I think it means that I'm the last of my line. I always wondered if anyone made it out of there. I am alone.
All right. So with that grim pronouncement, what are the rest of you doing?
Glaz would have drifted over and been like, would you like me to take a look at that and see if we can find out more? It'll take a little bit of time, but not too much, and it might be important.
We have stayed here a long time already. How much time will you require?
Just 10 minutes, and I can maybe discern how this works and what it means. It might be important in the fight ahead.
I just want to say, you're not alone. You're with us, and you can make more babies at the fuck house and then continue your line. If that's how it works for you guys, I don't know. So, what I want to bring up is, can we get the fuck out of that room? Like, it's weird.
He's still in the hallway, like, with all the, like, rots and stuff like that. And he's like,
yeah, we can go to the other dark room and kind of stage up in there, what the secret room. Yes?
Where do we leave the bear?
I'm gonna start walking out to where he is. He's made a very valid point. And
sorry, what did you say, Josh?
Where did we leave the bear?
The bear is just sort of hanging out in the hallway.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
I would have let them stay back because the bear was kind of like wounded. So he's always been him and Puff Puff have been like behind.
As long as someone's keeping an eye on him, we're like, we really don't want to outstay our welcome. We've done so well, and then just hear a bear's roar from the other room. Like, oh fuck! No one kept an eye on the pets.
Cloak has been keeping an eye on them, and then like, because he'd always like tell like Puff Puff to say not follow him, especially during the bomb scene. I should have mentioned it earlier, but I was just so excited because I could have made a bomb. But
no.
You're a lunatic.
But yeah, I mean, like he would be like keeping, especially in the hallway, he'd be like having them a little bit further down, and then like also keeping an eye on the hallways, but also keeping an eye on them and like getting ready for like all of a sudden the door to shut and be like, no one gets out of here, and then be like, oh, then we have to break him in and do all this stuff. But yeah, that's he's trying to get everyone out of the room, and he's like, come on, let's go, Kari. We got Kari. Glaz, are you next? Let's go.
Yeah, he's a little bit toned down compared to normally, especially with a new magical item after hearing the conversation between Kane and Ryoden.
Sure. All right, so you guys can make your way out of this strange chamber.
So are you thinking across the hall to go? I mean, if we want to identify, I don't know whether you want me to identify or not. If we want to bother with that, to figure out what this is and how it works.
If you wouldn't mind, Glass, Jeniel meant a great deal to me.
Of course.
Okay. Where would you guys like to go to do that? I assume not in the middle of the main corridor.
I'm thinking like back to the quiet room, right? Above the kitchen? Like where there was multiple little rooms so we could sort of get a little bit out, not be right by the door, kind of like, actually, I guess back by the secret door.
I will point out that that room did show signs of having been traversed or used.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was the deserted room. Oh, then back to the barracks.
It's deserted, but Cloak found tracks that obviously showed that people used that room at least at some point.
That's why I was putting the frying pan up. But what we could do, we could go to that room, and Cloak could be like, so like I'll just lean on this door, and if anyone starts coming through it, I'll get your guys' attention, and then I'll be first up in the door. But I mean, I think no one's been in there for a little bit. It's been pretty empty. So,
and if you want a place that's more guaranteed you won't get disturbed, you know that your friend who you interrogated suggested that the room with the thrones terrifies the bandits, and they don't go near it.
Oh, that is a very good idea.
I mean, if Cloak doesn't, I can imagine Cloak not wanting to go back to Ghost Room again. However, I will also say that, can we put someone who weighs more than 40 pounds soaking wet in front of the door? Because I feel like if someone tries to push the door, Cloak will just pinball across the fucking room. We have a bear. We have the bear sit in front of the door. Like, it's literally so useful for that.
Well, also last time we went through, last time we went through Ghost Room, we didn't feel that presence anymore because it's in Kari's bow.
Correct.
So yeah, I'm all for that.
Okay.
Okay. And then what Cloak would do is then do like silent patrols around for this 10 minutes, like kind of like always like peering in like to a door and seeing if like people are coming through and getting if there's traffic, and if there is traffic, he's like hiding. And doing that kind of stuff. So that's what he's doing this time.
Got it. Totally. All right. So you guys can adjourn to the room with the thrones, which now just has this kind of sad, empty feeling to it, as opposed to the creepy, haunted, sad, angry feeling when you first arrived. So you settle in there, and it's dark unless you bring any light with you, and you just set yourselves up, and you can spend however much time you like.
Yeah, I'll do, I'll take out my skin, this big moose skin that has the ley lines on it that acts as my spell book, and lay it out and sit down and then, reverently sort of ask Ryoden, may I have it for a moment so I can examine it properly? I will give it right back. I will not make sure it is not harmed.
He holds onto it for a second. Yes, of course. Yes.
I go, you can sit here if you'd like while we do it and be a part of the ritual if you would like.
Please. Thank you, Glass.
Okay. So you guys settle in, and he pulls his sort of big moose skin. I can't remember what it was. Was it
moose skin? Yeah.
Moose skin. He takes the moose skin off with his map of Midgard and ley lines and begins reciting arcane chants and words. And how do you want to incorporate him into the ritual?
I think have him there, and if there are parts of it of the ritual, just actually, I assume part of this is probably drawing some symbols and things. And since it's the first level spell, I think they're kind of easy. I can show him how to actually draw to draw some of them. And actually, since you're a cleric, you kind of are familiar with ritualistic things, so. I would think that between his sort of knowledge of blood magic and being a blood cleric, I could show him sort of some of the arcane, some crossover there to make him be included.
Okay. Yep, absolutely. All right, so you two kind of settle down, take a few moments to sort of prepare and cleanse yourselves before beginning the ritual. And it's interesting bringing in another person, which you have never done before. You've never incorporated another spellcaster into a ritual. And something in the back of your mind prickles that there may be something to this, and it might be worth exploring later or in other aspects of magic. But you go through the incantation and you spend the 10 minutes chanting, and you almost do it like a call and response, where you can show him the passages he needs to speak, and he can kind of draw out the symbols in chalk or in charcoal on the ground around this strange weapon, which now, as you guys have settled in, the flowing blood lashes have settled into these tails of burgundy leather with wicked-looking black iron thorns and silver barbs running down its length. So you manage to successfully cast your spell, and you identify this as the Sanguine Lash. And you know that it is a magical weapon that requires attunement. It functions as a scourge, which is a simple weapon that does 1d6 piercing damage. However, while an attuned wielder is holding it, they can use an action to cause the lashes to become 15-foot-long lashes of blood.
Shit.
And can strike out at creatures that you can see. Each lash deals 1d6 bludgeoning damage, and if you hit one target with all 3 of the lashes, it has to make a Constitution saving throw. If it fails, it gets jacked up.
Cool.
Its speed is halved, it gets disadvantage on saves, and it can't use reactions for 1 minute.
Damn.
Can I just say, Reardon has now become like the most metal character in existence.
Dude, he's got like a dagger in this.
He hangs out in a brothel all the time. He now has a blood whip, and he's just like, "Hey, what's up, everyone?"
But he's so camp. He's just so camp and like ruffles on his chest, but like everything else about him is just hecka metal.
0 hairs on the chest, yeah.
Yeah, so the target that's under this effect also can only take an action or a bonus action on its turn, but not both. And it can make a save at the end of each. And it can make a save at the end of each turn to try to throw off the effect.
Awesome.
So is this like in the world book or somewhere that, or can you send us something?
Is this somewhere I can look up?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a little bit of a reskin plus some other stuff. So the lashing people part of it, you can just find that under the tentacle rod in the Dungeon Master's Guide.
Okay, cool.
I also made it a magic weapon, so it's just it's a simple weapon that does 1d6 piercing damage, and it's finesse.
Gotcha.
Sweet.
Yeah,
but so it is a magic. Yeah, it is a magical weapon. But it doesn't have a bonus to hit or damage. But.
Awesome. Thank you, Ethan.
Yes. So there you go. It does require attunement. However, I'm going to say that due to the strange fluctuating magical nature of this place, steeped in ley line energy, and the fact that Glaz incorporated Riodan into the ritual, over the course of the 10 minutes to sort of suss out this thing's effects, you can attune to it if you so choose.
Absolutely.
Rather than spending an hour. All right, there you go.
Thank you, Glass.
That is
not sure why he left this for me.
Yes, always. It was obviously meant for you. I might, perhaps later on, as I progress in my studies, we might try that again. There was extra something with having you involved in a ritual. I don't quite know yet, but until then, yes, it is an amazing item. And he hands it sort of to him, reverently back over to him. Or I guess you probably can pick it. You would pick it right back. You pack it up since you're part of the ritual.
He's accused me of ever being born inside. Thank you, Glass.
There is more to you, Riodan, than I think I once thought.
Perhaps.
Don't worry, I won't tell anyone.
Right.
All right. So what now?
Yes. What now then? Where next do we?
Cloak is skulking around outside, and about 10 minutes passes. He would
Right.
head back.
Cloak, go ahead and give me a wisdom perception check, please, while you were on watch and keeping track of things.
13.
13. All right. You hear the doors at the far end of the hall open.
Okay. I'm hiding.
Okay.
And I'm watching. A 12. God, ooh, it's risky. Risky business.
It's risky. All right. Let me check something right quick. So you're trying to peek out and see what's happening down there?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see.
I was going from like room to room and kind of like seeing if anyone, like peeking in and seeing if anyone was like in the rooms, and then, or if like within the 10 minutes like someone populated the previously empty rooms that we investigated, and then as this ritual went on, and I imagine at this point like he was coming out of like, let's say, the kitchen room, and he would like all of a sudden like as he was opening the door, heard the door at the end of the hallway open, and he would go, oh, and then kind of like peek around the corner to see what he sees.
Got it. Okay, so you peek out and you can see a human figure standing in the middle of this giant double door, and he is backlit by a raging inferno that you can't quite get a good look at because it's raised up out of your vision, but there is a roar of flame, and you can see that the room beyond the doors is rippling with heat distortion in the air that's now starting to bleed out into the hallway. And this black silhouetted figure steps out, pulls the doors closed, and then kind of picks his way down the hall. Since you guys discovered the trap down there, he walks in a very specific pattern. He watches where he puts his feet for at least 20 feet in front of the double doors.
Oh, we were lucky.
Once he gets to about once he gets to about the door to the Hall of the Ancestors, the strange mirror room with the sarcophagus, he takes his eyes up off the floor, and you shrink back into the shadows, cloaked by the darkness cast because one of those marble statues is blocking the torchlight, and so shadow is falling on you. And he stalks with long-legged strides and clops of his boots on the stone past your position and down towards the entrance. It's a human man. Looks like he's probably of Kariv descent. So he has kind of wild black hair, swarthy skin, leather or horsehide clothes. He has a scimitar and a short sword belted at his waist, and he moves with the negligent confidence of a bloodthirsty killer. You can just feel that off of him. He puts you in mind of that fellow who interrupted your rest, if you recall. Fighting that guy. He very much puts you in mind of him. They probably could have been brothers, if you had to guess. And he is stalking towards the main entrance in the daylight.
Okay.
Seems like he doesn't notice you. Yeah,
I'm just letting him pass and hiding and not making any noise.
Okay. He heads down the corridor out into the light and turns away and walks off in the forest, some direction you can't quite see.
So as he like makes his way out to the reach, he would Cloak would like run up to the throne room and like open the door, and it's like, someone just came out and left.
Who?
I don't know. I didn't ask his name.
Kobold or human?
Human.
Or dragon?
He looked Kariv. Was that Karivian?
Yeah, a Kariv, yeah.
He looked like a creep, like all crazy black hair, you know. He looked like, no, dude, he looked pissed, man. He was kind of looked pissed, but he's probably that bloodlust.
North or South Korea makes a big difference.
All Koreans look the same to me.
Racist.
Actually, would Glaz in his studies know whether Spincius is a Karevian name?
Ooh.
No, it is absolutely not. It puts you more in mind of maybe the 7 cities.
Ooh, okay, cool.
Question. So outside, does he just walk by all the dead bodies?
The dead bodies weren't by the entrance; they were up at their watch post.
Oh, I was like, he probably making his way up to the watch post, and then he's gonna double back after he finds out we fucking killed them already. So either we can stage up. Well, I think we probably need to take him out, or we run into the Inferno room and then go from there. Oh yeah, that forge is like blazing hot. So, Kane, yeah.
So at this point, Kane, a lot of the oil on you has probably started to dry or evaporate, and you've been able to clean most of it off. So you're not, hopefully not going to go up like a torch if someone tosses a spark at you.
Okay, that's more reassuring. Kane shrugs and says, "Where we go now?"
Yeah, also, like 20 feet in front of the door, there's a certain pattern we have to walk in. If you guys follow me, we can just bust in the front door, or we can take the secret passage. Which way do you guys want to go?
Do we not think we should take care of this man before he comes back?
I say kill him.
Okay, so let's go get him.
Ambush him as he comes back in? We have lots of doors we can pop out of right here.
What if he's going on patrol like the other one said? Maybe he'll run into the bodies at one point.
And then maybe this is our time to go save the Dwarven lady. That could have been Spence's for all I know.
Well, Spincius is not a Karevian name. Something more like from the 7 cities. Maybe it was someone else. What's
the semantics? Okay, so, okay, so, what do you guys want? We can go hunt him down, but he left, and he looked pretty tough, so maybe we can go take out the other room quickly and open it up and save the Dwarven lady, and then go from there. I didn't see anyone else.
There is a dragon in the other room. I don't think that's a quick thing.
We never confirmed if there was a dragon in there. We said there was a possible dragon.
He said there was a beast that he was working for. Spincius is working for a beast.
Well, he might not be in there. We can take a peek.
And a beast that speaks killed one of their leaders.
Maybe he works for the dragon now.
That speak.
Well, we kind of have to make a decision quickly because time is of the essence right now. Either we go.
I would like to go.
You go where?
I want to go and look in the room to see if it is a dragon.
Okay.
All right. As much as I despise democracy, let's have a quick vote. My vote: go kill him. Carrie's vote.
I think we can scout the room, but not enter the room. Yes, scout the room. Do not fight whatever is in the forge. Kill the guy first.
Glaz is for kill the guy, right?
Yes, kill the guy. 2
for kill the guy. Cloak, kill the guy or don't kill the guy.
I'm gonna vote that we kill whatever in the room and then kill the guy after.
Not an option. Kill the guy or don't kill the guy. See, this is democracy.
Well, he's gonna. Obviously, we're gonna have to kill him.
Kill the guy, and then Kane. In fact, not even worth you voting. Yeah. We're going to kill the guy. This is how rubbish democracy is. But it works.
Yeah, all right, so the plan is to go track that dude down and kill him, is what I just heard, right?
Yep.
That's what I believe.
All right.
Kane's already knocked an arrow. Like, Kane is so ready to kill this guy.
All right. So he's had maybe a minute or two to head out of the tunnel and go whichever way he was going.
Do we set an ambush? Go ahead.
Right. Do you guys want to ambush him and wait for him to come back, or chase him down? I mean, someone here likes to hunt people.
Kari's eyes glow.
Yeah, like if we wait, like he could be gone for hours. He could be gone for minutes. Like, we have no way of knowing.
I said,
correct.
We can go take care of it quick, and then we can track him.
We run him down.
Yeah.
Hold on, and then Cloak would begin tracking.
Okay.
Oh,
I would like to assist.
Action.
I would. Okay, you got a 19, so you're good.
I got a 22. 19 plus
22.
3.
Nice.
All right. So you guys head out of the tunnel back into the forest clearing. You begin to look for his tracks, look for the freshest booted tracks leaving the tunnel, and it's very easy to pick them up. The ground is fairly soft here, and you're well at home in the forest. You're able to pick out his trail amongst the dozens that crisscross back and forth. He looks like turned off toward the east and set off into the forest.
And how far ahead of us? He was a minute.
Couple of minutes, yeah. You guys spent about 2 minutes talking, so thereabouts.
Yeah.
You suspect that between you and Kane guiding the rest of these chuckleheads through the forest, you can overtake him easily.
Okay.
I'm quite good in the forest.
I look at Kane, and then you see Cloak just run off quietly to the tracks, and he's pointing. He points directly at the footprints, and I'm gonna roll stealth. Can I roll stealth to chase him?
You guys can, yeah. You guys can make a stealth check.
All right. Yeah. 10. Why is that not popping up? Wow. Yeah, 10.
Oh, I've been kicked again.
Oh,
I finally have a roll above 10. It's an 18.
It's just on
so
your
happy.
Nice.
That's all good.
It's showing up.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Give me more stealth.
I'm just gonna roll.
Are you taking Huff Puff and the bear?
They're trailing behind, just because of
How
the fact
many
that
hours have we had to do for?
not.
I feel
24.
like it's getting close to. Oh, not 24. Okay, I thought it was 8 for some reason.
No.
At this point, probably about 10.
Yeah, I've been keeping track of that in my head. He would. I think Kane is the only one that needs to roll.
Yep.
If he's stealthing. But
you're essentially leaving Puff Puff and the bear to lag back, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
whoever is last, probably by Glaz. Glaz is probably the last, and they're trotting along with him.
Yep, absolutely.
So, all right, if they're keeping up with you and they're gonna take part in murdering this guy, we need to roll stealth for them as well. However, I think you guys have rolled well enough that even if they both roll ones, they're gonna be okay. So they can kind of lag in the back behind Glaz as you guys take off at a quick jog through the woods. After a little while, you begin to slow down as you catch signs that his trail is growing warmer, and you manage to how do you want to approach him? You think he's just up ahead through a stand of trees near what looks like a rock formation.
Can I roll insight? No, I don't know.
What do you want to know? What are you wondering?
I want to see if he is aware of us and that he's setting us up.
Yeah, that'd totally be an insight check. You make a wisdom insight.
Okay. All right.
Ooh, not 20.
That's a 20. All right, he has no idea. This poor bastard is about to get carved into jerky and has no clue what's about to happen to him.
You would see this is the point where because I imagine Kane's up with Cloak at the moment, and you just see, and you just see Cloak look at Kane, and he just smirks, and he's like, and he just disappears into the forest, to the clearing of trees, and is making his way to him to get like a flanking maneuver.
All right, so let's roll some initiative as you come upon this poor dumb bastard.
Laid out. Oh, actually, no. I have an initiative thing. Where is it? There it is. All right.
Let's see, my initiative. Carrie.
Come on!
Oh man! Come on!
Hunter.
Kari is daydreaming about being back home.
That's okay. I did it too. This poor sod also rolled a 1. All right. So Puff Puff and Fluff and stuff are here as well. So Puff Puff. Fluff and stuff. Where's my mouse? There it is. All right. So, do we have anybody above 20?
No.
No. 20 to 15.
15 from Riodan.
Riodan. 15 to 10.
Glass is
14.
on a 13. And Glass is on a 13.
14 Cloak. Glass 13. 10 to 5.
7 for Kane.
7. A 7. All right, so I have an 8 for Puff Puff. I have an 8 for Fluff and stuff. And where are you at there, Kari?
That's a 2. Yeah.
Kane, I need you to
do that
roll
all the
off
time.
with me, please. Just roll a d20. Give me a straight roll. I got a 4.
I got a 14.
Got a 14. So Kane goes on 4 faster than this dumb bastard.
Okay.
And Kari's on 2. So you guys spring into action. Riodan is first up.
Huzzah!
So you can
So
you guys can describe how you're coming upon him. You've essentially you've ambushed him. So you have a large rock formation off to the left, a dense stand of trees kind of in front of him, and he's in a light. It's not exactly a clearing, but it's a light, small trees and light brush about 30 feet across.
Guess which of my favorite spells I'm going to cast on the party? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I bless you all. Bless you.
All right.
And bless you. And bless you as well. I will bless Carrie because goddamn she needs it.
Thank you.
I will bless Kane and probably Cloak because I think Glass has more save spells rather than attack spells. So the 3 of you guys can be blessed.
The blessings of
Get 'em,
Morena
boys.
run through your veins, and you feel your pulse quicken. Cloak.
So in front of him, there's that big dense thing of trees, and that's where all of a sudden Cloak would appear out of there. Like he went around and got to this point where the guy is standing there and is probably distracted as he hears the blessing going on, but out of the corner of his eye he sees the red mossy the red cloak with the moss and the mushrooms on it moving on the ground really quickly at him, and he runs up and he just goes for his side as he's turning to get distracted by Reardon. Let me
Attack roll.
That's what I'm looking for here. Hold on. There we go. My Nihheim Saber
Oh,
that is a
you with the
critical
20s
hit, friend.
again.
Damn.
Damn. All right. So let me do the 1d8 plus 4 here. Oh shit! There we go. 13 damage in total.
Nice. All right. He shrieks in surprise as this little pad of moss jumps up and turns into a gnome with a saber and slashes at his ribs. All right, Glaz.
Glaz is going to reach his hand out down towards the ground into the ley lines and cast his Chill Touch.
All right.
Ooh, that's only 11.
You're hidden, so you have advantage.
Oh, even better. Give me half a second. Sorry, I didn't realize I had advantage.
Yep.
Oh, that's 20. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20, that'll get him. Yep, so that spectral hand reaches up out of the ground, pulsing with ley energy, and reaches for this guy. Grabs a hold of his ankle, and he screams in pain as it draws the life force out of him. 8 necrotic damage. Ouch. All right. Puff Puff will run forward, vanish in a shower of silver and gold sparkles, appear on the opposite side of him, flanking with Cloak, and bite at his legs, trying to hamstring him. And we'll get him. The teeth rip into his leg, oof, dealing 6 piercing damage. All right.
Wow,
Fluff and stuff.
Shit ton of damage, Jesus.
So the bear was lagging back and can't teleport. So what's that?
I thought we were trying to hold the bear back, that we didn't want the bear to get involved with actual
I
combat.
asked if you wanted him to get involved in the murder, and you said yes. So
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
I mean, if you want to hold him back, we can do that. That's fine.
He's protecting Glaz. That's what I want him to do.
Oh, okay. All right. So he'll hang back with Glaz. That's good. Kane, then. That's your turn, sir.
Okay, I'm going to, you guessed it, I'm going to shoot this guy. He hasn't spotted me yet. I've got advantage.
Nope, you guys are all hidden until you do something to reveal yourselves.
Has he spotted me yet, or?
No, negative.
Okay.
So basically, until you attack, cast a spell, break out of cover, or do something else to draw attention, you're hidden.
Okay, fantastic. In which case, let me just change that to advantage, and let's stick 'em, boys. 22 to hit.
Solid hit. Give me some damage.
That'll be 8 damage.
All right, so you're firing with the longbow, right? So
Yeah.
So this shadow that is Kane steps out from behind an oak tree and looses an arrow that catches him in sort of the lower back, and he sucks his breath in. And you can see now that he is trembling. Those of you who are close enough, and you see a great gout of blood as the arrow punches through his armor and strikes true. He is surprised, so he gets to do fuck all. Kari, your turn.
I'm going to let loose another arrow as well, following suit after Kane. Oops, that is not
All right,
cool.
as you
As a 21. What?
That hits. You draw your arrow back, and you see that purplish glow that looks like the sleeve of an armored dwarvish arm superimposed over your own, and you hear this soft growl in the dwarvish language. Karshun.
That was very ASMR for a second.
Oh, good. So the arrow flies forward, trailing this purple, almost like wispy smoke, this glow behind it. It strikes him, and there's a burst of faint purple light, and he screams in agony as it rips through his body and actually deals, I think, an extra point of damage on top of that, because you have a dexterity bonus and the +1 from the bow. That's not factoring in for some reason, so...
Oh, okay, so it's 3 damage in total then.
Yep, correct. All right, top of the order with Riodan.
Oh boy. I'm going to move to be within 15 feet of him, and then I will unleash my tentacle attack.
All
So
right.
that's something I can do. I can do this like at will, correct? Like that's an action I can keep
Oh,
doing,
yes.
doesn't have to charge.
Yes,
Yep,
it
cool.
is. It's an action. Yep.
Beautiful. All right,
You have 3 attacks.
Yep, I'm only 15 feet away. The first is a 11 to hit. The second is
A nat 1. Oh no. The 16 will connect. So you strike out with the scourge, and these 3 lashes of blood snap out at him. One of them catches him, and you can see like basically lashes into his skin, and he begins to bleed profusely from it. It's 4 points of damage. All right. All right, Cloak, your turn.
And then so as like Cloak is probably landing from the last attack, he's probably landing like at like a horizontal, and then darting forward, and then like going for his like femoral artery in his leg, and trying to jab at that in his leg. But we'll see where he connects with this. Oh wait, hold on. Let me. Does a 13? No, wait. Does a 16 hit his AC?
All right. So he manages to draw his saber and or his scimitar, and he parries your blade. But then you feel a sudden surge of adrenaline that gives you enough of an oomph to twist his blade out of the way and strike in, and you manage to catch him.
Okay.
Give me damage.
8 damage.
Oh, you draw blood.
Yeah, I take it. So what happens is that he like he goes for the blade and he goes like to parry it up, but when he goes to parry it, he like brings it down across his sword arm and then does it like that and slashes like across his arm, missing the leg, but feels the blessing of Reardon's guide to the blood.
And you feel this surge as your blade cuts into his flesh and draws blood. It's almost like you feel like this strange draw to the blood for a moment, and then kind of snap out of that. Like, eh. All right. Glaz, your turn.
I'm going to reach down again through the ley lines in the earth and do Ice Knife again.
Or Chill Touch?
Chill Touch, I'm sorry. Chill Touch. And
Okay.
yeah, no, that's a 6. So
That's a 6. All right. So he manages to... He sees the hand appearing this time and strikes out with the short blade in his left hand and cuts it in 2, and it dissipates into like gray snowflakes. Puff is going to attempt to lunge in and savage at him again. Ooh, she doesn't manage to. He skips out of the way, though he is starting to tire and visibly fatiguing and flagging. He manages to get out of the way of the hound's jaws. Kane, your turn, sir, is gone. Right, he shoots. I'll go ahead and... do we remember his attack bonus?
look at it. Looks like it's +6.
Right,
Plus
7,
6,
4, 11.
so
All right, so he will hit, thanks to the bless.
Bless is such a great spell. Holy shit.
It really
1
is.
damage.
Yeah. It's like fucking carried so many fights. I'm like, just fucking cast bless. Every
So
time.
good.
Another way.
It's 5 damage plus 4 with the +4 on that one.
Got him. Oh, come on. All right, so that was Kane. That's the bandit's turn.
He said he was going to shoot with his bow.
yeah.
It looks like in chat because they had to.
Yep. I just handled that. I'm just trying to get my pencil to work so I can write it down. It's the bandit's turn now. Oh boy, he is in really, really bad straits. So, you guys showed up out of nowhere, no parlay, no word, and just started trying to carve him into meat.
This is not going to go well.
Yeah, he's desperate. So he is going to lash out at Cloak, I guess. Who's Cloak is right up on him. So he's going to make 2 attacks with his scimitar and 1 with his dagger.
Okay.
That's a critical hit.
Can I try to do that lock thing? Or is that like a special ability? What's my reaction on that?
So
Rapier
that
lock?
is,
I think it's a special ability.
Oh,
that
okay.
is a special. I believe that's a special ability of the rapier, and I think you need to have a dagger in your other hand.
Oh, okay. The weapon lock
me-
thing I was thinking about.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's a
Okay.
rapier maneuver. And come on, where is it?
I didn't know. You mentioned something about a book the other time, and I have not.
Yep. I'm checking it right now, real quick.
Okay.
Your lock blades. When a creature attacks you with a weapon, yeah, that's a reaction for wielding a rapier.
Okay.
So you are essentially wielding a rapier, are you not?
Yeah, it's a
I know it's
rapier.
we're calling it a saber, but it's essentially a rapier. Yeah, you can use your reaction to make an attack roll. To you know what? I'm sorry. In this case, you can't because he critically hit you. A 20 is an automatic hit. You can't parry that one.
I was going to use one of my crits to counteract. If that's possible. If it's not, I'm cool. Okay.
Sounds cool.
You want to burn one of your 20s to cancel his crit, and you'll still have to contend with his attack total. So yeah, I'll go ahead and let you burn the 20 to make the roll.
Okay.
So you can make the attack roll.
Well, just add your bonus, right? Your attack bonus to it. Because you would have rolled a 20, and you had plus.
I think Dan is saying that he's
4.
using the.
You want to
Yeah,
roll?
so
Gotcha.
what I'm saying is you can burn one of your 20s to make the attempt. You'll still have to beat his total, which is going to be very high. So if you want to save it, you can save it. If you want to do it, you can do it.
I don't know what his total is, anyways. So.
I mean, he rolled a 20, so pretty big.
So yeah, I imagine let's save it. Because I don't think I'll be able to beat it, even if I did roll another 20, because I only have a 24. So
right. So he slashes you for 11 damage.
Okay.
Because that was a critical hit. The second one is only an 11. You kind of dodge backwards, and that swipes over your head, and you see a little bit of moss flutter down from your cloak where he sliced it free, and it immediately withers black and then vanishes in a little puff of cinders.
No one saw that.
And he will strike with his dagger. He's going to hit you with a 19. If you would like to try to parry that one, you may.
Okay, I'll try that. I'll try doing that.
Try and lock his blade.
No, that is a 6, so I did not do it.
Yes, unfortunate. Oof. So he's going to do 7 slashing damage. Sorry, 7 piercing damage to you.
Okay. Cloak, once again, looks like shit as like it pierces him, and he's like, "Oh, God damn it!"
All right.
Oh.
So that's him. Kari, your turn. How's
I
Cloak
think we
doing
know
at this
that
point? Is he below half?
Oh, Cloak has 1 hit point right now.
Ooh, so
I
Cloak
am
is
going
Cloak
to
is
cast
quite
your
bloodied.
wounds on you. It's 1d8
Okay.
plus your modifier, right?
1d8, yeah, plus wisdom modifier for clerics.
So you're going to
You
move up
get
and touch him.
7.
Nice.
Doesn't it have a range on it?
No, touch.
Word does cure wounds. You have to run up and touch.
Okay, I'm going to run up and touch him, though, seeing how terrible he is
Alright.
looking.
Yeah, he's looking pretty
so
bad.
So is that a +1? Your wisdom modifier is +1, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I have nothing higher than a +1 for my modifiers.
All right. So radiant
I can
energy
attack
floods
with my
through.
dagger as a bonus action as well, right?
Not when you cast a spell.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you could do it. Say if you had a light weapon in your other hand, you could do it. And when you attack with one, you could use the bonus action to strike with the other.
I was thinking of
right, so
striking
you-
out with my dagger. Does that count as a light weapon, or is that a finesse weapon?
But you cast.
You can only do it. You can only do it
Okay.
when you attack, not when you cast a spell.
Okay. Okay,
All
got
right.
it.
So top of the order, Riodan. You see
Oh, boy,
some of
I'm
Cloak's
still
more
here.
grievous wounds knit.
Well, as long as he's all right, then I'll keep hitting this guy with my tentacles.
Got him.
Which is a... Oh my
That's
fucking
another
god.
nat
Am I...
one.
Did I switch Luck of Youth here? Oh, that makes up for
but-
it, though.
There you
That's
go.
a hit and a crit, so go ahead and
That's
give me some
4.
damage.
5 damage overall.
All right, 5 damage.
If I hit with the first one, I'd have done crazy stuff, I tell you. Crazy stuff.
It would have been insane.
Alas.
All right, 5 damage. Got it. Cloak, your turn, sir. The blood lashes strike into this guy, and you can see that blood is now pouring out of his mouth.
So now I'm going to burn one of my crits on him. And I'm going to, as he's like
Stab him
going
in the
to
face.
like, yeah, as he's like throwing up that blood, like the sword is like coming up to his like throat.
Oh, yeah.
And so let me roll damage real quick. So it's a 1d8 plus 4 for the initial. So that's 6 damage. Plus
another d8.
yeah. Got him.
All right. So as he lunges forward and these lashes are drawing the blood out of him, and he coughs up a great gout of it, you just sort of leap up to your feet with that renewed vigor from Kari's spell. You spin, and you can barely feel the steel part flesh, and you just sort of flick the blood off your blade, and behind you he collapses, twitching into the moss.
Yeah, I would like to think like as like he's like bringing that like across and his like throat's opening up, he does like a little spin and his like blade is clean as he lands. As the blood shoots off from the velocity from the spin and all that kind of stuff. So, and then does a cool pose.
Yeah. So he strikes a little pose and then slides his blade back into its scabbard. All right. So you have brought down your quarry.
And then I'm still like, you see, like there's still like
So
blood
you're right.
like coming off of him.
Yeah, no, he got me good.
Hold on, and then I would cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Sure.
With a 1d8 plus 1, so 5 more hit points.
Right.
So that brings me to a total of 6 wounds. Yeah, and so
And he's like, okay, and like as like more of like the healing like comes up, and he's like, I learned that one from Kari. But yeah,
and like the blood begins like to dry, and then he just kind of wipes it off, and he then looks at the guy and he's like, I wonder if he had more platinum on him, and he's like going through his pockets.
Sure. So you go through his pockets and you come up with, he does indeed have some coin on him. He has 20 gold pieces and a potion that you recognize as a potion of healing.
2 potions of healing.
You should have used that.
well, I
Well,
have
killed
another
him.
one as a backup. Yeah, so
Perhaps you might want to give one to the healer, just in case something happens to me and something happens to you.
Fair enough.
okay.
She holds her hand out.
And he has the
All
other
right.
one. You see that he has the other one like tucked away, and he's like, and the climbing potion, and he's like, okay. And then he splits up the gold and gives everyone 5 gold, or 4
Nice.
gold.
4 gold.
There-
4
there you
gold. Anything
Okay.
else on him?
Not beyond his gear. He has a scimitar, like 4 or 5 daggers at various places around his person, and some studded leather armor.
Okay. Yeah, let's
I look at everyone and say, all right, he's dead. Let's head back.
Okay. You guys can retrace your steps back to the entrance to the halls of Everforge. No problem.
Can we try and hide the body before we go? Maybe?
We're sort of at rocks around. I mean, I'd say a little
Yeah, we
something.
can get
something.
like a quick Karen or something, just to, you know, if somebody
takes
There's some
wanders
bushes.
by.
Did you say there's some bushes close by?
Yeah. There's absolutely some like brambles or brush that you can hide the
Yeah,
body in
just
if you like.
kinda-
No problem.
can I roll a stealth check to
Well,
hide
can
the
we get the
body
bear
in the
to eat
forest?
Yeah, absolutely. The bear cannot eat it quickly.
I'm saying we can
But
wait
yeah,
an hour for the bear.
Yeah, you can make a stealth. Sorry, 21?
20, I rolled a 17 plus 4.
21. Okay, yeah. Okay, the body is well and goodly stashed. Now, you know, it's obvious that a battle took place here, and there's just blood everywhere. But yeah, body's
It's
hidden.
the woods.
Yep.
Blood
Blood happens in the woods, right?
Blood happens.
All right, so you guys make your way quickly back to the halls of Everforge. Where would you like to go?
Go to the forge.
Yeah. So
I want to go to the forge.
I have a question.
Me too, in all honesty.
Okay. Do you guys want to go the side route to the forge or directly into the forge?
Why not?
Does
go?
anyone else get something from doing a short rest other than me?
People could spend hit dice to heal.
Hit dice would be fine, really.
If clerics spent channel divinity, they could get that back.
Because I could get a spell
I have
slot
not
back,
done
which
that.
we might want. Otherwise, I've only got one, which is the sleep, and then I would just be doing chill touch, spell-wise.
Well, remember that your spell slots aren't locked to a given spell.
Right, no, but I'm saying is I literally only I have one spell slot with one one level 1 spell slot left, but I can arcane recover, so I have 2.
Right.
Wait,
Got it.
beg
And I
pardon.
could-
So we'd already
The
planned
spell
that he
slots
was
are not saved to the spell? He's a wizard, though.
No, as in as in he doesn't have to use that for sleep, but we'd already agreed.
Right, our plan
in
was
our-
to use sleep. That's what I was thinking of doing, but then I'm out of spells because I've used 2.
I mean, I'm fine, Glaz, if you want to take like a rest and we can stage up on where we want to go.
I was thinking that it might be nice. I would be able to do a little bit more if we are getting into a big battle.
Very well. If we're going
okay.
forward, we probably should.
Where are you going to rest?
The throne room.
Okay. You guys rest in there, and your hour passes undisturbed. Glaz, you can
Okay.
arcane recover.
Cool.
I hit dice.
And if anybody wants to spend heat dice, you can do that as well.
I'm gonna do a hit die.
I have 0 wounds.
Now, if I recall correctly, the bear had spent some to heal up previously.
He did, and then he had some left over, and then we had a long rest. So he
Right.
can.
So
he probably
he's
has
probably
dice,
good.
I think.
Probably good,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I
Back
got
up to 4.
I got one spell left. I can cure someone. The other one is that's how I got Fluff and stuff to like me is with that animal friendship and stuff like that. But I think what I can do is if the battle gets hairy and if anyone needs healing, I can help out that way.
all right. So after the battle, it looks like Puff Puff and Fluff and Stuff are both recovered.
Ooh, that's gonna be very helpful. Yeah, I've got. I'm thinking I can Witch Bolt, which will help me. I can just be doing a D12 all around the room, just be spraying after sleep. Ooh, actually, are they both concentration or sleep? No, sleep is not concentration.
No, that's like a burst.
Yeah, it's a
Is it not?
burst. And nope, sleep is not concentration.
Excellent. Okay. So what's the plan?
Well, we probably need to peek in and see where and what's going on in there. So someone sneaky,
I have.
either probably through like one of the side doors instead of the big double doors, right?
I actually wouldn't mind using my channel divinity and stealthing up to the doors to take a look inside.
Okay. You can certainly do that when you're ready to try and sneak about. Remember that your channel divinity only works for the one check, so.
Yes, yeah, that would be 25 for my stealth.
All right, so where are you sneaking up? Are you going straight to the double doors, or are you guys going around to the side doors?
I'm more inclined to go towards the side doors.
Okay, so go ahead and hang on to that stealth check for now. So you guys make your way into the series of empty apartments that you had found, and up to the secret door that you had at one point marked or trapped with an iron skillet. You can crack that door open and see what lies beyond now if you wish. Who would like to be doing that?
I'll do that.
Okay, you pop the door open. It, like all of the other ones, even after so long of no maintenance and neglect, it popped straight open and opens at your touch easily. So you find yourself looking into a room where there are just hunks of twisted, partially melted metal covering the floor and even some of the walls. The room is not lit, and you can see that some of these half-melted chunks of steel are the remains of suits of armor that were once on stands all about this room. You can see that there are half-melted battle axe blades where the hafts have long since burned or rotted away. And you can see a blackened, but still looks to be apparently mostly intact suit of plate armor of dwarvish craft hanging from a like a stanchion with a hook on it in the very center of the room, just hanging there, all kind of like strung together. Off on one side, you can also see that there is a fresh corpse, relatively fresh. You can smell it. It's probably been dead for a couple of days at this point. There is looks like one of those human brigands is just sort of crumpled in the corner, and there is a longsword driven through his back, almost like pinning him to the floor. The sword looks ancient, and it's blackened by fire, and the wire that was wrapped around its hilt is melted and fused.
So anything that got melted looks like it melted recently?
Oh, no.
Okay. Should we peek into the forge? Kind of ignore that armor. That looks really cool. You're muted, Jay.
Does the sword look like it matches the armor? Same age, same vintage.
Or the bow, actually.
Yes.
Well, no, because I am worried. It looks like you were saying a brigand, like one of our recent time brigands that we killed has been stabbed with an ancient sword from an ancient suit of armor.
Yes.
That is curious. Why would that brigand be stabbed with old sword and there's armor standing right there? I'm worried that is not a normal thing.
Can I roll perception?
Sure. Yeah, you can make me a wisdom perception check.
All right.
Can I also make that?
Yeah, anybody who wants to take some time to search about can certainly do that.
I'll go as well.
That.
I got a 19 on my roll.
Nice.
I got an 18.
7.
Yeah, only 10 for Glaz.
Well, I have a 12, so anyone who beat a 12, which is going to be, looks like Kari, Cloak, Kane, and that's it. You guys spot some other weapons that are ancient but still intact and not completely melted. You see more of those swords. It looks like they're just sort of scattered around the room, but they are on top of other rubble, and it looks like on top of melted slag in some places. And you can see one of them relatively nearby is blood-stained, as dried blood crusted on the blade. 4 total. You see 4 of these long swords kind of scattered about the room, including the one that's
kind of blood crusting that was inside the sarcophagus?
It looks more like this blade stabbed someone and then just wasn't cleaned off.
Okay.
How big are these blades?
They're long swords.
Okay. Are they similar size to the statues in the other room?
The statues are a little bit big. they're a little bigger than life-sized. So no, these are actual
like rubble and slag, as if maybe they were also statues that.
You can make an intelligence investigation check.
I kind of want to roll an Arcana check to see if these swords are, because these swords stand out to me.
Okay.
And
hang on one second. Okay. All right. So looking around the room, Kane, it looks like the slag and armor that were around here. This looks like it was very specifically an armory. So as opposed to the showroom almost quality of the statues and carvings in the main hall, this is the real deal. And something came in here with the heat of a blast furnace and just melted steel and ran it down the stone. It looks like a few of these pieces have survived somehow, namely the suit of full plate and then these swords that you guys have discovered. But everything else that was here that matches that time period, destroyed. And it looks like there were suits of armor hanging on the walls and on stands, and that accounts for most of the melted slag. There is a door in this room in the center of the right wall, the eastern wall, that if your map and bearings are correct, should lead you into the Great Forge.
All right.
So you were wanting to make an Arcana. You were wanting to make an Arcana check. I can tell you that outside of the circumstances that you guys have identified as suspicious, they just look like armor and swords.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't want. I was kind of curious if it was like part of a trap. That's why Cloak is looking at it. It's like Cloak's imagination kind of going a little bit about
like you don't see anything like tripwires or like bear traps hidden under the sword or anything like that. No.
Okay. Yeah. Then at that point, I would look and be like, all right, so let's look into the forge and see what we see.
Kari, you're going to go up and check using your blessing of the hunter.
But no.
Okay.
25 stealth check.
So, describe to me how you approach the door.
Very low, almost on all fours,
if you can,
and
if you could reshare the map and you can kind of show me where you head to that'd be good.
I do not have the map or access to the map.
Yeah.
I was using Theater of Mind.
Oh,
there we go.
There you go.
Grazie.
And it's this door on the far left is the one, because right where Glaz is here that I'm moving is the secret door that we're moving through.
Yeah, that's the secret door.
Go the main. Okay, and this is the door that I'm moving. Glaz, I'm sorry, I'm moving you. You're the only token I have control of. And this is the secret door, so she kind of like Spider-Man almost on all fours.
This marker where I'm putting is the hanging suit of armor.
Oh, the one that marker right here that Glaz is on top of now? Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sticking close to the wall and slowly away from that, keeping my eye on the armor as I get closer to the door.
Okay. So you're gonna press yourself up against the wall and make your way over towards the door. Okay. Yeah, you can do that. You guys see Carrie slip forward on nimble feet, and she sort of walks up on these great solid masses of melted steel and basically presses her back against the soot-covered wall and inches around this armor toward the door alcove. And you make it. And you take a moment, you touch the cat claw amulet you wear around your neck and whisper a soft prayer to the hunter in the form of envisioning what your prey might be doing beyond the door, and you can do what you do. And we'll use that stealth check you rolled earlier. That's fine.
The door?
Yeah, that's fine. Stealth or sleight of hand will both work, and we'll just use the same check that you did before. And remember, that's a plus 10, so I believe that's huge.
Yep, that'll make it a 29.
Damn. All right, that's very good. All right, so as you reach out and touch the door, just to remember something, you had a wild magic surge a little while back. As you grasp the iron pull ring, it rusts to dust in your hand. It just crumbles, and that's disturbing for a moment. but then you can, either push the door open a crack or grab the anchoring section where the ring was and pull it open. All right, so as you pull it open, a blast furnace wave of heat just rolls out of the opened doorway into your face, and you can feel it just prickling on your skin. And the rest of you see this just dark orange-red light roll out over Kari into this dark room. You can see there are great steps leading up to a dais in the center of the rear wall there that lead up to a great, almost like an anvil, sort of up there. Scattered around the room, you can see these other massive iron anvils, and they have carvings and dwarven inscription on their sides, and near each of them stands a great stone cistern. There is a swirling oval sort of ring of blazing red fire at the top of the dais, and heat is just pouring off of this thing and filling the room, and the roaring sound fills your ears and drowns out most other sounds around you. You can see down in the main chamber, in front of the closed double doors, you see a number of kobolds sort of milling around and kind of watching the door and just sort of wandering this way and that, looking a little bored. On the but kind of slumped up against the closest anvil to the north there, to the left of you, looking in from the door, you can see a crumpled figure. It's a dwarven woman with sort of dirty blonde hair that looks like it was once bound in braids, but now a bunch of her hair is broken and hanging loose, and she's sort of slumped, and she's holding one hand over her shoulder, and you can see that she's breathing.
I run over to her.
Well, hold on now. There is a figure standing at the base of the dais steps, kind of on the far side of the room. He's dressed in a crimson robe that has like some silver thread embroidery on it. His head is shaved bald, but you can tell that it's started to stubble up a little bit, and he's probably his hairline is receding when it grows out. He's a human man, pretty old, probably in his late 50s, maybe even his 60s. So he's got very wrinkled skin, kind of roomy eyes, and he's looking up sort of in awe toward the top of the dais and this burning ring of fire. And there, crouched in front of it, is a great black-scaled beast, easily the size of you or even Glaz, with great wings sort of folded down to its sides. Its skin and scales are black and seem like coal or black iron, except that you can see this red molten light leaking through between the scales at its chest, up its throat, in its eyes and its nostrils. And this dragon twists its head around and kind of tastes the air. And that is where we will stop for this week.
Fuck.
Dragons!
There's a dragon here!
Wait, what color dragon
was
was
indeed a dragon here.
Black.
It looks like it's black scales, but like with red molten firelight leaking through its scales and shining in its throat and behind its eyes.
It's not a terrible thing. Don't read into that too much.
If you're thinking black dragon, it is not a black dragon. This is a Midgard flame dragon.
Flame dragon, yeah. I was wondering whether that was meta or whether we actually figured that out. Didn't I figure that out from the scale?
You guys figured it out. Yes, that is a flame dragon.
Dope. Awesome. Well, my friends, that's all we've got time for tonight here on The World Tree Burns, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed tonight's show. And if you did so, let us know. What's your favorite moment of hearing from you guys here at the end? Of course, if you haven't followed the stream yet, hit the follow button and join us. You can catch up on the rest of our episodes on YouTube or via podcast formats via thetomeshow.com, who have the hosting the World Tree Burns podcast, so definitely go and check that out. But let's go around to Custom Crew real quick. Did we enjoy ourselves? And of course, where can we find you guys online? Mr. Dan Dillon, great job tonight. What are your thoughts?
Thank you very much. Yeah, I had a great time. I love running D&D for this group. This is a blast. I love doing Midgard, and I love getting to toy with your guys' backstories a little bit and figuring out ways to blend in the wild surges and the fun quirks of the Encounter Roleplay streams mechanics and making those work for the game. That's been a really cool challenge for me as a DM. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Awesome. And where can we follow you online, my friend?
Oh yeah, I'm at Dan_Dylan_1 on the Twitters. Follow me there. I love to talk D&D.
Great stuff. And let's see, Tool Squall, same question.
I had a great time, as always. Again, I love Midgard. I love this class. It's a lot of fun to play, so it was great. It was also very cool to see Rioden's backstory stuff. And so, yeah, you can find me all over social media as Tall Squall. The best place to find me is on my Twitter account. If you go there, you can see all the stuff I'm working on, including a new little venture that I'm doing with my buddy called Bird in the Storm Publishing, where we are putting out some modules and we'll be playtesting them digitally very soon and live at Gen Con.
Very cool.
Awesome. Thank you, Squall. And Josh.
Yeah, again, it's nice to be traveling with Riordan once again. I've forgotten why I put myself through this torment, but this was a little bit of glimpse through into him and Kane having some history and having been alive for a lot longer than probably most of the rest of the party. So having that history together is lovely. But yeah, you can find me. My name's Josh, sometimes known as Encounter Josh. You can find me online at Encounter Josh on Twitter, and I do loads of stuff on Tuesdays. And yeah, that's me.
Great stuff. Oh, one last plug from me is if you're not already in the Discord, there's like 20 minutes left to enter into a giveaway for the RuneQuest Bestiary that Chaosium have very kindly given us to give away. So go in there and check that out. Great stuff. McLoken.
Oh, hi, I'm McLoken. I play Cloak. I had a great time today. It was fun being super paranoid like a normal D&D player. And having that come out in a character. Yeah, you guys can find me at my show that I run on Wednesdays nights. That'll be on mixer.com/storyquest. That is a D&D5E campaign that I've been running. It's homebrewed with some Final Fantasy elements. And yeah, follow me at Twitter at McLoken. I'm on a bunch of other shows, and I'll keep it short.
Awesome. And last but not least, Laurelania.
Hi, I'm going to post all the things that you need to know about me there in Twitch, so go ahead and read it. It is in a nice message for you. But most importantly, join my D&D Discord, because I love you. And my favorite part tonight about the show was actually something that didn't really happen, but the story and the way it's all kind of interweaving with the dwarf and the different pieces and the different rooms, the bow, the armor, the sarcophagus, and just trying to figure out what this is really has me intrigued as kind of like the puzzle player part of me for D&D. So I'm really eager to see how that goes.
Great stuff. Well, my friends, definitely go and follow all of these friends here of Encounter Roleplay and see what they're getting up to on their own projects and stuff on the Twitches and the Twitters. You'll see me again live tomorrow at the time of 1 p.m. Eastern for Call of Cthulhu Doors to Darkness, followed by 4 p.m. Warhammer Beneath Dark Bowels of Jim Davis and Jonathan Pruitt of WebDM, finishing off the day with Star Wars Rise of the Dark Side, not Star Trek. That's something else that's happening later on, but definitely go and check that out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until next time, try not to roll too many nat ones. We want to be laughing when you do. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Good night, folks.